Hello, everybody. Welcome to Directly to You, our weekly Nintendo podcast, Fanatix4's weekly Nintendo podcast. I'm AJ of Fanatix4. I'm joined by Max of LootPots because Parker of Fanatix4 is RIP.
As always. To Waffle still. Always.
RIP Parker. Housekeeping. You can support this channel by clicking the join button on youtube.com/fanatix4 or by clicking subscribe on twitch.tv/fanatix4. For both of those platforms, you get their equivalent of exclusive emotes and loyalty badges. You get gaming time with us. You get free Switch keys from time to time. You get access to our supporters only Discord. It's a great fun time. You should do it if you like this channel because it helps us do more cool stuff. You know what I mean? But beyond that, how you doing, Max?
I'm good. Do you remember that every week, or do you read it? Have you got like a master copy that you read?
I read it, man.
Oh,
no,
okay,
I don't read it. I just pull it out of my brain. That's why it's slightly different all the time.
It's really impressive. Because I'm looking at these notes like, hang on a minute, where did you get that?
That's
I'm
not
good.
fair.
I'm good. I'm really good. I am very good. How are you? Sorry, I'll just caught me off guard there, thinking about you just knowing that off the top of your head.
I'm sick. I'm getting sick, and it sucks, dude.
Oh, you're that kind of sick. I thought you meant like, oh, I'm sick.
Oh, no. I mean, like, my throat hurts, and, like, I'm losing my voice. It's rough, dude. It's
I know
rough,
that game, man. I've been ill for about 7 weeks now. I've got festival flu that just won't go away. So
Rip, dude. Rip.
Yeah, man.
I don't know where mine came from, but here we are.
Probably caught it from me.
Probably. Or MDB. MDB was also sick.
Yeah. You probably got it from Discord, because Discord's a piece of crap.
True. And I was using Discord yesterday. Oh, man. That's true. Because I wasn't sick until after that. I didn't start feeling sick until I was done.
You shouldn't use Discord, man. You know the rules. It makes you ill. Makes me ill listening to it. It makes you ill being on it. Like.
Rip, dude. Are you playing any video games?
Yeah, I am actually. Yeah. I'm playing 2 video games really. Other than the little bit of Smash Brothers I played with you, but I'm sure you're going to speak about Smash Brothers when I'm done.
Yep.
I've been playing a little bit of Ni no Kuni still trying to get through that. About 25 hours in that. I've just unlocked the casino, so I'm getting really into like all of the blackjack and the card games and stuff. And even in real life, I hate slot machines. So I was like, okay, like this is free currency, it's free money. I'll try the slot machines in the game, and I was angry within like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, how do you win these things? It's not even real money, it's fake money, and I just rage quit it. But yeah, that's a fun game. You know, it's kind of I keep like, so when it's like kind of like Pokemon in that you can evolve your familiars, your creatures that you fight with, but they evolve when they evolve, they go to level 1 again. But that puts them at a serious disadvantage, because once they eventually get back up to like level 20, 30, whatever, they're like much more powerful than they were before. But like I evolved like 2 of them just for a big boss. I was like, why am I finding this boss so difficult? And it's because like my 2 main guys were back at level 1. So I need to grind basically to get myself back up to being able to go back into the story. So I'm not a big grinding person either, so this will be fun. This will be a bit of a leap to get across. And I'm playing the Spyro trilogy.
I need to get back to that because Activision sent it to me, and then my usual pattern is like a developer will send me a game, I'll play it to decide if I want to make a video about it or not. But at the very least, I play it to talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And then like if it doesn't stick enough for it to be a video, then I'm probably just gonna drop it all together. But I like Spyro, I want to play it. But like I need more time. Everybody's telling me to do stuff. I had an exchange where I was talking to somebody that works at Nintendo because she was saying something about how dope Naruto is, and then I posted something about like this moment with Rock Lee when he dropped the weights when he was fighting Gar. That was dope. And then Matt, who is on this podcast, Casualverse, was like, did you watch freaking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? And I'm like, there's not enough time in the day for this.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like my friends are like, oh, have you watched this thing on Netflix? I'm like, where? At what point do you expect me to sit down and watch things on Netflix? I'm either driving from place to place, or I'm at work, or I'm trying to play Ni no Kuni. I've had the game for about a month now, and I'm only like 25 hours in. Which for me, I did like 32 hours of Fire Emblem in like a week and a half, something like that. So I'm really having to take things slow at the moment, and I still haven't played Link's Awakening. I still haven't played Ori and the Blind Forest. Hoping to maybe get Digimon next week. I don't know if I'll have time to play it, but I kind of have to. Then we've got Luigi's Mansion, and then we've got Pokemon, which I'm really hyped for. So just kind of
Pokemon's next month.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, man, that's great. It's like I'm always like, oh yeah, Pokemon. I like Pokemon. I wouldn't say I'm like, I don't get any hyped over it until we're like a month out, and I'm like playing Pokemon Go all the time. I'm like looking for shinies. I'm like thinking about like, oh, I remember when I played Diamond for 400 hours. Oh my god. I'm like, oh, I remember when Let's Go came out. I remember when Moon came out, and I was playing like 100 hours of Moon in like a week, and like all the guys at work bought it, and we were like sitting around at work playing Pokemon in our downtime. Or we were at the Christmas party and we're all really drunk, and we like, oh, we're just gonna quickly go back to the room and get some more drinks. And we were just like sitting in my room playing Pokemon while the Christmas party's going on. I'm really excited for so some more antics like that. Really, just play some more Pokemon.
I'm very ready for Pokemon.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be a communal experience.
Yeah.
And just like Smash Brothers, when that first came out, everybody's gonna want to battle me, and I'm down for it. But speaking of Smash Brothers, I finally went to that tournament, and it was very interesting because Falcon.
Oh yes, you went with Falcon. You went with Logan as well, right?
Yes. Falcon, but Falcon's more interesting. I freaking hang out with Logan all the time. People know that I like have been in the same place as Logan several times.
Was it the first time you met Falcon?
Yeah, Falcon drove all the way out here to play in this tournament, and then we just hung out and like practice and stuff like that. And we all pretty much fell out of the tournament at the same time. Like we had the same trajectory. We lost our first match, got sent to losers, won our next two matches, and then lost. It was rough, but I'm proud of how I did because I never entered a tournament before. And
I'm just remembering it was either last week or it was 2 weeks ago when you were like, I'm gonna be the guy that enters his first tournament and wins.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said you were gonna.
This whole time it's recorded. I'm on the record.
Someone do the detective work for me.
Grimhane, do the detective work. But I've been on the record the whole time saying I'm entering this tournament to see how I'm going to do, and then I'm going to continue to enter more tournaments so I can get better playing it locally. Because
you like Ash Ketchum?
Nah.
It's going to take you 23 years to win something.
Nah, not even close to that.
Has it humbled you? Has entering the tournament humbled you and made you realise that actually you shouldn't be so smug?
I'm never smug. Every time I play this game with you, I'm like, oh man, that was a good game, blah blah blah. Like I only meet your snarky. If you're smug with me, I'm smug right back. But I don't start the whole thing being like, oh, you're trash at this game, blah blah. You just get salty when you get freaking PT'd into oblivion, and then you started talking crap, and then I come back at you.
I've got nothing else other than snark, so I kind of have to run with what I've got, man.
Hey, I have no problem with that. I have no issue with it at all. Just know that I can throw it back. I'm not going to throw it at you first, but I can throw it back.
Fine. We'll have to play more Smash then, and then we'll see if you can.
Oh, I'll be able to. But again, like I said in my tweet, with our little fight, sometimes I'm petty. Sometimes I get the first kill, and I did a lot of that in the tournament, in the matches that I won. Where it's just like, oh, you let me do that. I'm going to see if I can do it again for the rest of your lives. So it was like a lot of matches like that, and I just like the whole experience of like the losses that I had. I'm like, man, like I could have avoided that if.
I need to send. No, go on, carry on.
So it's just a matter of me like practicing locally more and going to more of these locals so I can familiarize myself with more matchups because like right now I'm limited to the few people that I play against online and then randoms online, which gives me a pool of characters of like 10 because everybody online picks the same 10 characters.
Yeah, fine.
So it's like I fought a Ken locally and I'm like, how do I
who is that?
How do I do this? So like the Ken that I lost to, when he beat me, it was like flowchart stuff. Like he caught me in a combo, and once I'm in that combo, I'm dead.
It's just like okay, I'm gonna follow this round till you die.
Right. And Falcon told me, he was like, no, you got caught in that combo. Like there was nothing you could do at that point. And I don't know what to look for that because I'm not used to fighting Ken. So it's just a matter of fighting Ken more to know.
Yeah,
like, oh no, you're not hitting me with that combo. I know what that does.
When I went to the tournament that I went to, I had picked up Lucas earlier that day. I used to play him in Brawl, and I played a little bit of him in Smash 4. I picked him up again for this tournament. I was like, okay, everyone's expecting a Samus, right? So I went in with my Lucas, and I got pretty good. I ended up like not losing a game until I got into like the semi-finals, and then I lost all my games. No, sorry, I lost my second 2 games anyway. So I went in with my Lucas, and I came up against a Ness, and I was like, do you know what? I don't play Ness I've never played Ness or played against a Ness. And this guy was like, do you know what? I've never played against a Lucas, and I was like, this is going to be interesting. And I beat him, and I was like, okay, cool. I feel like I can come across some surprises then. And then it came to King DDD, who was in the semi-final, and I was like, it's time to look at you flexing your iPhone 11 while I'm talking. Look at you flexing.
I'm not flexing anything.
It just pops up on camera.
To let down the fourth wall a little bit. I just got a DM because I was reaching out to fellow Nintendo creators, Nintendo Power Couple, to see if they wanted to be on this podcast. That's what that was. They were responding to the DM.
And you were probably saying you were just flashing your phone for no reason. Anyway, so I'm playing against.
I was reading the DM, Max. That's how. I don't know if you know how to use Twitter, but that's how you read DMs. You got to pull out the device.
Even the DMs I don't want to read. I read all the DMs, man. So I'm fighting this DDD, right? I don't really play a lot of DDD, but I've played against him a few times. And this guy was like, I've never played against a Lucas. So the most annoying thing I could do.
How?
Yeah, I know. You throw him off stage. You PK ice. I hit him with it all 3 of his stocks. I took him out with that, and my mate was like, "Don't do that again." Like, he's learnt that, and I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And I just kept doing it, and he just kept recovering low, and I was like, "Okay, if he's recovering low, what do I do?" And I couldn't quite. I just forgot in the heat of the moment, the stress, the sweat, everything, that Lucas's spike is his back air. Mm-hmm. So I'm like jumping, down airing, and I'm just going, and then he's just bang, off you go, and he like killed me twice in a row because I just couldn't. The pressure got to me, and that was that tournament, man. I was 1 game away. If I'd won that second game, I'd have won. It was either a Pro Controller or it was like 50 quid of eShop vouchers, one of the two. For some reason, the second prize was Nintendo Monopoly, and then number 1 prize was like a GameCube controller. It was really weird.
How many entrants were at the tournament?
It was 4 groups of 4, so it must have been 16. Was it 4 groups of 4? It might have been 4 groups of 6.
The entrance for this tournament was like 70 something.
Oh, this was pretty big then.
It was a prize pool that was.
Did you put in?
For the defeat? You had to enter.
Yeah. That's what we did too. This was at a local board game shop.
So the prize pool, I think the winner got like $500 or something.
Oh damn! Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, this was on a much smaller scale. It was like a tenner entry, and there was like 2 controllers, a game of Monopoly, and then the eShop code. But imagine coming like 3rd and getting a Pro Controller, coming 2nd and getting Nintendo Monopoly, and then coming 1st and getting the GameCube controller. Surely you'd be like, who wants to swap this Nintendo Monopoly for anything else?
Right. The Nintendo Monopoly should be 3rd.
That should be 4th. That should be the bottom rung.
I didn't even know 4th got a prize. You started with 3rd.
Sorry, 4th got the eShop voucher. Then it was the Pro Controller.
How much was the voucher?
It was either 25 or 50. I don't know how. I think it was 20 or 50.
That was all I went.
Yeah, weird. But it was a good tournament. There was this one kid on our group, who people were like, you should go easy on this kid, man. Like, he's like never played Smash Bros before. There was a kid on the other group and they were letting him win, and I was like, I haven't lost a game yet. And I don't want to start losing any games. So I was just not going easy on him at all. Everyone else was, but I was like, I haven't lost a game yet. Like, come on.
See, you lucked out. I didn't get to enter one of them casual tournaments.
Everyone got a kid. Everyone had a kid. I didn't luck out.
Literally, every single entrant at this tournament had custom GameCube controllers and crap. Like, they were hardcore, dude. They go to this tournament every week.
Everyone had a kid in their pool, man. I'm not okay. Everyone had a kid in their pool, man. It's not just me. I didn't have an easy ride. I had a bit of an easy ride, but I didn't have an easy ride.
You did.
Whatever. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next bit. I'm done with this. What else have you been playing?
I can't say, actually. I'm playing.
You can't say because you don't know, or you can't say because you're not allowed to say.
I'm playing Redacted. It's under embargo until next week.
Can you spell it in the air for me with your fingers so I can?
I can show you.
Yeah. Show me.
But
I won't give any hints.
While I'm doing that, you got a vamp, dude.
I got a what? Oh,
you got a vamp.
What on earth does that mean?
That means talk, by time.
Luckily, I've never heard the word vamp before, so I can talk about how I've never heard the word vamp before. I haven't been played a game under embargo for some time. But usually I can tell what it is. Usually it's never that secretive. But I am very
I don't know. I don't know if I'm able to or not because it doesn't specify. It just says media and video. I mean, media and review. And
okay. Yeah, generally. So on the podcast, what usually seems to happen is we talk. Well, not we, but they talk about a game because I'm rarely on it, and they'll be midway through it like, "Can we talk about this?" And they'll be like, "Oh, when's the episode going out?" Yeah, we can talk about it. We just make sure it has to go out, on the right day. It can't go out on the any time before.
We don't have the luxury of doing that because that means we'll miss a podcast for the week. Yeah,
this is you DMing me. Oh, cool. Okay, you need to tell me about this afterwards. I'm not gonna spoil this at all.
Will do.
That's cool, man.
It is cool because I wasn't expecting it. Like,
is that out anytime soon? Is it?
Next week. It's the 18th, I think.
I don't give a date because now people can just look up
spoilers. But I mean, I didn't say what it was. I just said
yeah, true. That's very cool. It's very cool. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. After this podcast, directly after. I'm not waiting for the plebs for when it comes out. I want to hear the thoughts.
Okay, cool. I don't have that many thoughts yet because I literally just downloaded it and installed.
You never do. So
and turned on. That's not even true. That's not true. I have hours and hours of thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, too many actually. Because that's why this podcast is always 3 hours long.
Hey, there's other people on this podcast. It's not just me.
True. Last week was like 90% MDB.
Yeah, MDB, 10%. Man. MDB. That's why you get MDB. It's like, man, I don't feel like talking that much. I'm going to get MDB on the podcast.
I'm going to get someone that likes to talk a lot.
Yeah. See, I should have swapped guests because, like, now that I'm sick, probably be smarter if I get somebody to talk more than me.
Do you know what, AJ, if you want me to, I will read all the news, I will read all the comments, I'll be like Parker, even though I'm going to be like slightly nasally because my nose is well blocked.
We're both sick. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We'll share the load. Share the load.
Speaking of news and also Parker, the first news item
is, are you actually keeping this in?
Yes, Parker Deal confirmed to be a massive doo-doo head. Source, the grave reality of existence.
Mm-hmm.
So Parker's not here because he got murdered by a waffle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they shipped his body back in a really morbid way, but he's still rip until we can reanimate him next week, or you can reanimate him. I'm not touching him. He's gross. Closed
we'll get somebody to do it. Maybe Luigi can do it. He's not doing anything this month. So
yeah, whatever. I'm back. I was an idiot.
Rip.
Okay, what did you say?
I said maybe Luigi can do it. Because he's not doing anything this month.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. What do you mean? He's having a really busy month, Luigi. It's the month for Luigi. It's all sorts.
The year Luigi 2.0.
Month. Yeah, God, if we have a year of Luigi. 2013, man.
That means the Switch is dead. Once we get a year of Luigi again...
That's it, people are worried.
It's dead. Dead.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the Switch Ambassador program. That's what I'm looking forward to.
See, the difference, though, what they need to do, they need to do a year of Waluigi. That means it's going to be their most prosperous year of all time.
I'm looking forward to the sort of... Like, I've always, if I was ever going to do, like, what would your dream Luigi game be? Waluigi game, sorry. It would be, like, a twisted, horrible, like, Dark Souls game, like a Souls-like, but Waluigi just fights the demons in his own head.
Parker literally did a video about this.
The Waluigi game?
Yes, he literally did a video about a Waluigi game.
I don't care about Parker, man. Parker can go and do one.
Rip, dude.
Let's get to actual news. Let's do the actual news. Galarian
Ponyta. So last week, me and MDB were like live commentating this stream.
That's what I wanted to bring up. MDB saw the picture of Slurpuff and got really excited about seeing a new Pokemon. This guy is supposed to be credible. This guy is supposed to be a credible
not even
source.
True. It's not even true that he's supposed to be credible because every time and his whole there's a whole thing about people commenting being like, you said this Pokemon's name wrong. You said this Pokemon's name wrong. I was watching his last challenge and he was talking about Genesect, I think, and he called it Genesect. I was like, what?
See, that's the thing. If you don't have the context for the name, sometimes you can just look at it and be like, Yeah.
See, but the thing is, like, I expect that from Bob. I expect him to get crap wrong. That's why, like, most times when I have the foresight to be like, oh shoot, they're talking about Pokemon stuff, I'm going to be on that episode. I'm on
because you can correct.
So I can be like, no, you're dumb, you're wrong.
Yeah.
This is incorrect. Otherwise, I'm in the chat. I'm in the chat, and everybody in the chat's like, "AJ, look, tell him he's wrong." So it's like way more annoying to do that in text than it is to audibly say like, "Nah, you're wrong about that."
Trying to keep up with it because he's wrong so often. Trying to keep up with that with your thumbs.
Yeah, I know. Hard. Like you can only type it so fast. I don't have the Google Stadia technology to like predict what he's going to say. So
what do they call that? Reverse.
They call it negative latency.
Negative latency. What a dumb.
But speaking of that, with the Ponyta being confirmed and whatnot, it's also confirmed to be a Shield exclusive. What are your thoughts on that? Do you give a crap?
We always knew there was going to be a Shield exclusive because we had Surfetched, and I had always. So I can't remember, on the podcast I was on, and I read a theory by one of the guys from, might have been Ash from Game Explained, said, there's a fighting type Jim in Sword and a ghost type in Shield. Are we going to have a ghost type exclusive form? Not the case unless, Galarian Rapidash is a ghost type for whatever reason. But we always expected it, and I actually am not that bothered because in the age of 2019, with all the fun things you can do with the internet, you can just if you're getting Shield, you can just trade it to me and I will give you a Surfetched, and then no one has to worry, no one has to get upset.
I literally couldn't care less about the version exclusives. Like the only thing that matters to me, and I'm of a similar mind with like the starters, because people are like, wait until the starters evolutions are confirmed to pick your starter. I don't care about that because I'm just going to trade for it anyway.
Yeah, the only thing I am upset about with the exclusives we currently know about is that I'm not going to be able to like catch a whole load of Goomy and try and find a good Goomy for my team. I'm going to have to go through like a Komo, whatever his name is, or the little D Dino.
See, just make Parker do it. Just make Parker do it and get a good Goomy. But I already have one. Well, actually, no, never mind. I lied. Rip, dude. Rip.
Yeah,
I forgot.
Good luck trying to transfer that one over.
I forgot. No, yeah. I can transfer it, but I just don't
have to get Pokemon Home first. Anymore. Oh, do you not? Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, I just don't.
I thought you needed Pokemon Home for that, and that's not out till next year.
Oh yeah, but like I can wait for that, man. Doesn't matter.
You're too patient. I guess you're gonna have to an entire year for another Pokemon game. So yeah, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, like I'm gonna train up another team first. Like I'm not just gonna use the same Goodra for the entirety of my life. See, I gotta be like Ash, man. I gotta start anew every single time. And then when my back's up against the wall, I use Charizard, and then I still lose.
You're gonna form an unseen bond with a Pokemon that turns it into a brand new form, and then just give it away at the start of the next generation.
Yep. But regardless of the fact that I think it's uninteresting that there's version exclusives.
That's always going to be.
I literally only care about like what the name of the game is, what the legendary is, and that's it. And not even a legendary for the sake of having a legendary, because usually they let you catch more than one of them, especially now. So you can easily trade for it. I just care about the name. A sword's cooler than a shield.
Yeah, I generally don't. I'm generally kind of contrarian in that I'll pick the lesser popular, not on purpose. It just happens to be that I'll be like, oh, I like Sapphire, and everyone's like, well, I like Ruby, and I'll be like, oh, well, I like Silver, and they're like, well, I like Gold, or so when I went into this, I was like, I'm gonna get Shield, I know I am, and then it wasn't until Legendaries came out, and I was like, no, I'll get a Sword, fine, I'll get Sword.
Is Ruby the more popular one?
I think so. Well, at least in my circle.
I don't know if that's true.
All the people I knew had Groudon, probably because it's fire type and people just prefer fire types to like grass or water.
Oh, they're dumb.
So I've noticed. Yeah. He was sick. So yeah, generally I seem to be contrarian, but like I picked Sword and last generation. So when Moon came out, the reason I picked Moon wasn't to be contrarian, or wasn't to because I generally, I think by the end of it ended up preferring Lunala. But the reason I picked Moon is because I knew that when I finished work and I was playing this game, I'd be playing it in the daytime in the game. I wouldn't just be playing the entire game at night. I'd actually be playing it in the day. And then when I was off work, or as it actually ended up turning out being, like playing it at work all the time, I was playing at night. So that was a really cool exclusive feature, and I'm interested to see if there's going to be anything like that in these games, because we don't actually know an awful lot. They're actually still keeping things rather secret. Like we don't know if there's going to be a Galarian Farfetch, we don't know if there's a Galarian Rapidash yet, we don't know if there's a Galarian Coughing, we don't know the evolutions of the starters. All of these things they're keeping quite secret, which I really like. I don't know how you feel about it, but I really like. I'm interested if we're going to have loads of surprises on launch day that we're like, wow, okay, we're noticing that there's different features that aren't in your game.
I'm mixed on it. I don't like that they announce stuff and then don't really like explain what that means. So it's like you could have just left it a complete surprise rather than kind of unveiling it and not really say anything.
I can go for that.
Like I would rather know literally nothing. I want to say, here's what the starters look like. Here's your starting town. Here's the professor. Here's your rival, and that's it. I don't want to know the champion. I don't want to know none of the other stuff. Just tell me like the stuff that you have to put in the ad. You know, everything else is like I don't need to know that.
Well, it's like I said to you in the week, like them not really revealing a ton of information and releasing stuff without too much clarification is just leaving them open to negative coverage, which is because the trend for this game seems to be everything they do is negative. Right. Even the good stuff is being twisted by letting information out that isn't complete, like you said in your video about 1,000 people working on it, 18 gyms, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It just means that people can then twist it so easily, and I think it's not very clever of them to have done that, especially to go in with something like the curry decks. Saying, there's a complete curry dex, because all you're going to get is people going, there's a curry dex, but there's no national dex?
Yeah.
What now? And it's like, come on, man. Just save the curry dex. Like, what? They didn't talk about Poffins before they announced before Poffins were playable, did they, in Gen 4? Right.
Yeah. I think they might have mentioned it in passing, or showed it, but they didn't say what the significance was.
The hype cycle was much different back then, because I remember being really into it. I was big into pixel art then, as I still am now, but more so then. And every time a new Pokemon was revealed, we knew the Japanese name. I'd try and get involved on the pixel art side of that, trying to do pixel art for it. But because everything was released in Japan first and then came to the UK later, everything was alien to me when the game eventually came out. Whereas now we're getting everything in English, almost more important than the Japanese stuff. A lot of the stuff seems to be that it's in English.
Yeah, I mean, just
so the hype cycle was very different.
Yeah, just the release timing of it, because our holiday starts a lot earlier than theirs.
Yeah.
But back to what I was trying to say.
Sorry.
About the version exclusives. These are the ones that we know so far. Dino, I think is how you say that.
Dino, yeah. Dino. Well, no, it could be Dino, but
it could be Dino. But
I think it's Dino.
Could be either one.
We should consult Grimhain.
Let's ask MDB.
MDB, yeah, go
on. Larvitar that's
how did you say that?
And Larvitar.
Say it again.
Larvitar.
Yeah, okay.
That's how they say it in the anime.
Is it? Oh, okay. Yes. Fine. I say Larvitar. That's how I say it. Larvitar.
But yeah, Sword and Shield respectively. I'm cool with that. I like both of those probably equally.
Probably prefer Larvitar due to my own sort of nostalgia bias thing. I've never played a game with Dad Dino in it.
It's because you're dumb. Dark Dragon is way cooler than Dark Rock.
Yeah, okay, fine. I can go for that. I'll admit that.
There's Jangmo-Oh. Jangmo-Oh.
Jangmo-Oh. Dumb name.
It is a dumb name, but he's also cool because he's dragon fighting. We're getting all the dragons. Well, we have more dragons. They have one dragon. Gumi is Shield. Gumi. That's the one that's rough for me because I love Gumi. Gumi's cool. Well, Gudra specifically is cool.
It's strange that Gumi, that evolution line is purely dragon, because in my head it came out in Gen 6 when Fairy was introduced, and in my head that kind of looks like a sort of warped, like the original version of a fairy before Disney got his hands on him.
I'm pretty sure that's a Pokedex thing. I think that's like an evolutionary Pokemon. Like he adapted to not get effed by fairy types.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He has like super high special defense and like yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay,
that's just them doing a smart.
They thought about it, but much more than I did, and I appreciate that.
Yep. And then the ones that we already know: Surfetch, exclusive to Sword and Shield, Galarian Ponyta.
Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely glad I went with Shield because of not the exclusive master, obviously, but because of the Surfetch thing. Because it means I can be able to just find loads of Farfetch in the wild and then just enjoy my best, possibly even a shiny Surfetched. Whether it's going to be on my team, I haven't decided yet, because I like to look at the teams based on what I find at the start, and I'm like, okay, what types am I missing? What types would work best in this? I'm not like try hard like Pete and Bessie is, but I'm also not super casual like you are. So
what does that even mean? You don't even know my approach to getting my team.
I don't actually. What is your approach?
You just throwing jabs for no reason. Yeah, man. You're trying to get spiked 3 times in a row.
I just want to. I'm just trying to get a little bit of reaction out of you. Go on, tell me how do you make a team?
So I play it by ear. I'm like, oh, that one's cool, and then I'll go through the story with just like I'll get like a general type coverage thing with the ones that I like, and then after the fact, when it gets to the point where it's like, all right, I'm gonna start thinking about IVs and EVs and all that BS, then I look at the overall thing of it of like what
What's
Pokemon are exactly. But like slightly different from that, because like I'm not going to be like the 3,000 person to have a freaking Thunderous on their team, you know. Like I don't want like a small variation on the team that everybody in the meta is running.
See, if I come across like shinies, or if I come across stuff that I think's really cool, I will just change things up. Like my Gen 4 team was literally by the end made up of 3 different shinies that I'd found knocking about. That I was just like, they may not be any good, but I'm definitely like having that in my team.
I usually do that, but for the actual game. The only exception is in technically Gen 4, but in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I called a shiny Wooper. And I was like, Quagsire looks stupid. I'm not putting that on my team.
Keep it as a Wooper. You keep it as a Wooper, right?
Yeah, I just kept him in the box.
Did you evolve it?
Yeah, I evolved it, and then I kept him in the box forever.
Yeah, I used to have a shiny box, but I always had my level 100 shiny Weezing, always had my level 100 shiny Roserade, and I'm pretty sure I had a shiny Weavile as well. Those were the 3 shinies on my team. They were probably rubbish, but I didn't do any competitive play. I just played the game.
I got one shiny that is like close to like the approach that people do for shinies, and that's I got a shiny Gibble. And like I almost didn't notice it was shiny because it's just like a different hue of blue.
Yeah.
So then I looked back and I was like, oh shoot! Like I hacked that. I mean, I hatched that stupid thing from an egg, and it's shiny, dude. Like that's dope. So that was probably the one thing that's like, not just happening upon it in the wild.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I have to catch that thing.
I had 40 shinies by the end of Diamond because I was like getting into the whole shiny. There's a YouTube video somewhere lost to the ether. I don't know how I would ever find it, of me coming across a shiny, I want to say Ponyta or something like that, and I'd recorded like the grass going shiny, me walking over it, and then me going and then like that's just on YouTube somewhere, but I just don't know where because it was like 2006 or 2007 or something dumb like that. That could be anywhere, man.
Rip, dude.
If you find it, if anyone can find that, then I wish them. I want to see it.
All right. Well, any more thoughts on Galarian Ponyta or version exclusives? Any hopes and dreams for a version exclusive, even though it really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things?
I'm not that care about exclusives. What I do care about is what Galarian Rapidash is going to look like. I said this on Twitter that it would be cool if it was a Pegasus or whatever it was that Benjamin Aquino corrected me that it's not a Pegasus, it's something else. There's another name for it that's got a horn, whereas a Pegasus doesn't have a horn. Pegasus is wings, no horn, and then it's like Alagus or Alicorn, I don't know, something like that. That's got a horn and wings, which was very interesting. I did not know that was.
I'm going to deem that nerd stuff.
It's very much nerd stuff.
I'm just going to call it a Pegasus.
I think Benjamin pulls off.
Sorry about it.
Benjamin pulls off being a nerd, and we should all be happy with
Be
it.
more like Benjamin.
It's Alicorn. Alicorns are pony characters from My Little Pony. There we go.
I will never call it that.
I also I didn't know it's from My Little Pony. Now I feel like I shouldn't ever also bring that up. But still, I'm excited to see what the evolution is going to be. Hopefully, it's going to have the fairy typing in there. If not, it's going to have the.
It would be such a troll if it doesn't have fairy typing in it. Cause
if it's just going to end up being like Farfetch'd, Surfetch'd, and just be like pure fighting. If it's just pure psychic.
It just is, like, it would be weird to me because it doesn't make sense visually. It's like you said with Gumi, but there's no like lore explanation I could think. Like maybe freaking. I don't even know. I don't know what the lore explanation could be. We have to wait until the game comes out. That makes sense.
In a month. Next Rip, Tuesday.
Rip, dude. Rip.
Speaking of Rip, you can shoot people in Call of Juarez Gunslinger, which is a video game that came out in 2013 that's been rated for Nintendo Switch by the ESRB board, who I'm pretty sure is that's the European one, ESRB, or is that the American one?
That's the American one.
Cool. So ESRB, yeah, they've rated the game.
The European one, I think, is PEGI.
That is PEGI. You're correct. PEGI 16. I do know that.
Yeah.
So that's like a 2013 game from last gen, I believe. Coming over to Nintendo Switch, which is
I always thought that this was like a Call of Duty clone or something.
It sounds like it.
I just saw the name. I never actually saw a gameplay of it.
Yeah. I think it's intended because it is. What have I done here? Because it is more of an arcadey shooter as opposed to something like, I don't know, Red Dead Redemption is all I can think of because it's a cowboy game. But because it's quite an arcadey thing, I think it's supposed to be like reminiscent of old Call of Duty games. There's like a story mode, there's like an arcade mode, there's like a multiplayer mode as far as I know. I don't know, I'm not that interested in it. It's interesting that it's being brought over because I don't remember any of the Call of Juarez games really ever changing any lives, that's for sure.
Yeah, like I don't know anybody that like tweeted this out like, oh my god, this is my dream come true.
Yeah, it was just a classic like Nibble reporting on everything because he's really good like that I saw it and was like, oh, okay, and then not many other pieces really reported on it. Have you got any more to say about that, or can I do a quick segue?
I just think it's good that it's on there because like the Switch definitely does need more like shooters and stuff for the people.
Yeah,
that like
Parker's
that.
said this himself, hasn't he? And considering it seems like people aren't going to be buying Overwatch, or less people will be buying Overwatch, maybe that's the one. But yeah, like you say about like more first-person shooters, there was also on the same day. It was like within an hour of each other. There was another announcement that Metro Redux, the collection of Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light from those are both last gen games, and then the collection Metro Redux is a PS4 and Xbox One game. It was listed for Switch by a Portuguese retailer called Gaming Replay, I think that says. Yeah, so it's just a collection of the games with all the DLC. I've got them both on PC and have tried the first one. Quite atmospheric, very interesting kind of world. Very like post-apocalyptic kind of thing, almost like Fallout. It reminds me of a little bit, but what do you think about it? Have you seen these games before? Are you interested in them at all?
I've seen them. I didn't really like. I think I have it on like Xbox or PlayStation or possibly both as like a PlayStation Plus or Games with Gold situation.
Yeah, you can get the games digitally on both of them. I think for like 15 quid. I saw when I did a little search, and Gaming Replay are asking for $50 for this. Yeah, I literally wrote ouch on the list on the notes. Yeah, like it's due out in December, but $50, man. Like,
yeah,
developers or publishers need to stop.
I'm mixed on that, because I mean it's similar to like it's interesting because like the video that the second video that me and Parker collaborated on this week. It's interesting to see how many people like they rationalize it as like the business thing, you know, where it's like, well, they don't need to because the Switch isn't dead, right? But things like this they don't rationalize, or like on the whole, like say we made a video where it's like, man, it sucks that there's so many like higher priced Switch games and blah blah blah. They wouldn't rationalize that as a business, even though like I think it is like it's very clear that it's a situation of like this is the hotness, you know, like you want to put this game that not a lot of people were thinking about before, it has low competition on this platform, so we're going to position it as this like new big deal that's unlike anything else that they see on this platform.
Which is funny that it was announced on or sort of leaked on the same day that another first-person shooter that's probably doing the exact same thing is also coming to Switch. Right.
How much is that one priced?
Oh, we don't know. All we have is the rating. So this one is a retailer listing, which is why we have the date and the price. No official announcement yet, but the Call of Juarez one is it's just an ESRB rating. So it's one of those ones that could just shadow drop like they did with the Doom games or with Bulletstorm, or it could be something that maybe there's a direct upcoming, but I doubt it. There could be all kinds of things, I guess, couldn't there? I think it's priced too high. I understand what you're saying, that I mean there's all kinds of excuses or all kind of reasons that, you know, it costs money to develop these things,
I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think that they'll try to say that, like if there's a lot of pushback and be like, man, well, it's expensive to port to the Switch because it's a lower power console or whatever. But I think it's just because they can. It's literally just that. It's like people will buy it, and that's why any price point exists. It's what's the most amount of money that we can list this for that we think the most amount of people will pay for.
Yeah, definitely, and it's sort of the Capcom thing, isn't it? Of like, oh, we'll just release it at this price, and then we can put it on sale, and then we'll just catch people in the sale. We'll catch some people at the full price point. We'll catch everyone else in the sales. We win either way.
Right.
And then in their head, everyone's happy. People are going to be like, oh, I'm going to wait for a sale. And then when the sale comes, they buy it at the price it should be. And Capcom's like, we got you anyway.
Like you still got the game, and we also got extra money from the people that didn't wait
just
for
paid full price. Yeah, and there's also people like, the Capcom also screw over Europe and keep screwing over Europe by not releasing physical copies. So you really are locked into waiting for the sale. There's no getting it on a discount in store. There's no, getting the cartridge version that you can resell. We literally have the option of buying the game full price or waiting for a sale. So we've missed out on Mega Man 11, all the Resident Evil games, Okami, which the US didn't get either. We're going to miss out on the Mega Man Legacy Collection, Mega Man X. So Z Legacy Collection, we missed out on X, the Legacy Collection. We missed out on all of them, and it's becoming really difficult to sort of support Capcom and agree that they're doing it right. And I think it's the same with this one, that it's going to come out and I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm not supporting this at $50. I'm not recommending it at $50, and I would recommend getting it elsewhere. Something else I'd recommend getting elsewhere.
I'm not going to play it.
Something else you can't get elsewhere, actually, is Demon X Machina, which a very divisive, not highly rated game that I'm probably going to pick up in a sale, like these other games. It's getting a new mode, which is interesting. I didn't know they were supporting it like that. It's getting 2 new modes actually. One co-op mode, which is just a series of missions that you can do together. I think that you then unlock them in single player, and then there's a competitive mode.
Was that already in the game?
No, this has been added recently.
Because I know the competitive mode sounds new, but the co-op mode sounds weird, because like that was something that they announced in the beginning.
Yeah, so I think it was always there. I think there's just new stuff for it.
Oh, okay.
So when I opened up the link directly from Nintendo, it had like a list of things. It had join up to 3 friends via local wireless. And then for a more competitive experience, take on friends in 1 or 2 on one-on-one or 2-on-2 versus play. Earn points for a one-line play to increase your ranking and show the world how good you are. So it's ranked mode essentially. And they then plan on adding new content in the future, probably to support the game. It's interesting that this is the kind of game that that needs it. I guess it's a game that they released a demo because they weren't sure about it. They released a second demo because they were like, look, we fixed everything, still probably weren't too sure about it. Reviews came out, probably didn't sell too well. I'm pretty sure I can still buy the special edition somewhere. For them to keep supporting it's interesting. I rate them for it. I respect them for doing that, for people that did buy it. But it's interesting that they would support it. Do you not think?
And I think it's weird what they're supporting it with. Because, I don't know about you, but usually a mode like these, would be something that I would only play if I was already sold on the game. Where it's like, oh yes, I love the gameplay of this, give me more of that.
Yeah, well, now I finished the game.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But not something that's like, oh, you're not into this game? Well, here's the nitty gritty of it. You want the super nerd stuff? All right, here it is. It's like, nah.
Obviously, the game, the Metacritic was 75 because we didn't have a competitive ranked mode. So let's just add a competitive ranked mode in.
That's what everybody disliked. Yeah, there you go.
You never picked this up, did you? You didn't get it from Nintendo or anything, did you?
No,
or Marvelous? No. I'm probably gonna hope that the big special edition takes up enough space that it drops down to the price of the base game. That I can then pick that up and give it a whirl, I guess, because I was interested in it. It got caught up in the September of releases, and because it wasn't, didn't look to be all that good, I didn't want to spend £70 on it in the same month I dropped. Sorry, £90 on it in the same month I dropped £70 on Link's Awakening. So
rip.
Yeah.
I was I lost interest in it pretty quickly. When it was announced at E3, it was like the first thing that they showed. I was like, "Yo, this looks dope." And then they showed it again at like the Treehouse thing. And I was like, "Still looks dope." Yep. And then the demo came out, and I was like, "Eh, yeah. I don't know about this game."
Yeah, like I understood. I played it with in the back of my head, knowing this is just a demo. You know, they're obviously not going to give you all the good stuff. And then I played the demo a few times, and I was really into... This is the first demo, not the second one. Really into the customization. And that was it. I was really into, like, picking up new parts, putting them on, colouring them, putting stickers on. I was like, yeah, this is amazing. It was the bit of, like, Xenoblade Chronicles X I never made it to. Because I just didn't have the sort of... I wasn't into that game as much as the other ones. So I never got to that mech bit, and I was like, I love building mechs. I love customising things. And I was like, okay, to get more parts, I have to play the missions. Oh, that's sad.
Oh man, I don't see. That's the thing. Maybe Xenoblade Chronicles X is a big part of why I don't care about this game too. Because I did get to the part with the mechs, and it wasn't worth it.
Oh really?
I was like, I wasted $30 hours on this. I want it back.
I've still got the special edition of that somewhere, just without the disc. I think I sold the disc back to the shop because they were going to offer me like the same price for the special edition or the standard edition. So I was like,
oh wow,
have the standard edition. I'll just keep the steelbook and the art book and all that sort of stuff. It's one of those games. When I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I was like, I really wish I'd kept playing X because I got really into this game. But I'm sure if it came to Switch and I picked it up, I'd be like, I wish I had a main character, and I wish it was I had a sword and not guns. But that's off topic. So you're not. This isn't going to draw you in then, no?
Yeah, no, I don't care about this game.
No, I agree. It's not for me. But maybe one day. It was for me, and then I played it. So yeah.
They made it playable. That was the I did not mean to do that, rip, dude. But yeah, they made it playable, and that was the their fatal flaw. They should have just teased it forever in cutscenes.
Yep.
But yeah, the next news story is that the Switch sold 10 million units in Europe.
10 million units. Sorry, I was already. I was just thinking that's already weak. So it's probably the weakest segue that we've ever had.
I mean, I wasn't trying to.
No, exactly. Yeah, we both not very well. I was really
just
struggling.
Taking too long. You were taking too long to talk.
There was that gap was me like, how do I bridge this? There was just no way to. There's just no way to do it. Keep that in. Don't edit that out because that's.
I'm not going to edit it out. Are you crazy? I'm sick of not editing anything.
I'm going to drop a curse word, so you have to.
I won't. I swear.
I won't. 10 million Switches sold in Europe. Big milestone. Nearly sold as many as the Wii U did worldwide. Just in Europe. I think 25% of that was in France. France loves the Switch for some reason.
That's
insane.
Think
as of in June, I think they'd sold 7.5 million, something ridiculous like that in France alone.
Wow.
No, sorry. Hang on. No, sorry.
You said 25%, so I'm assuming you mean 2.5 million.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Yeah, that's the opposite. I was giving you the opposite number. Sorry, 2.5 million. I think they might even be at 3 million, in France, actually. I remember there was some news article that were like, France loves the Switch. It was in the same sort of time as they were like, Canada loves the Switch. And I was like, what is it about the French and the Switch?
What is it about the French?
What is it about the French and the Switch? Yeah, it's a good number. It's really good to see.
It's backwards because the Wii U was Project Cafe. They're supposed to love that.
Yeah. That's a really good joke, AJ. You should save that for a video. I can't believe you wasted it on me. So 10 million. I mean, it's showing a trend worldwide because the Switch has been number one in Japan all year. It's been number one in the US all year. Right. It's obviously the PS4 and Xbox One are winding down because they've got new consoles coming out next year, and PS4 hasn't had that many new releases this year. Right. And Xbox One's only had Gears, I guess, and everything else has been kind of so it makes sense that the Switch is doing so well, but I think we are seeing an increase in the Switch. We're literally seeing this was 30% up from last year in Europe and 40% from 2017. So there is actually an increase year on year.
And they're going to just double down on that because Pokemon's coming out.
Yep.
We still have like the rumored Switch Pro, which would be another whole like renaissance of people buying
the
this
Switch
thing.
Lite plus Animal Crossing plus Pokemon as a trio, sort of to collect the handheld users back with Pokemon and Animal Crossing.
Right.
With like Pokemon and Animal Crossing, sorry, that was that motion for you, AJ. With an Animal Crossing like style Switch, or branded Switch or a special edition, you're going to grab a lot. You're going to capture a lot of people, and there's still like 40 million, I don't know, whatever it is, 3DS users still to capture, which is a big old number.
A big old number.
Big old number. To call back to Parker's video last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, about it is going to be the biggest holiday ever. So we know that at the end of October we're getting the figures for up to the end of September, and as of the end of June the Switch was at 37.8 million worldwide, I think.
We can
so with the
up
summer of releases,
the power of the internet.
Huh?
I said we can pull it up with the power of the internet.
Yeah, do that. Well, I think I'm right on that.
The Switch is at 36.87 million as of June.
As of June, yeah, cool. Okay, so I was quite close. So we have to imagine that with the summer of releases like Mario Party, like Mario Maker 2, Fire Emblem, Astral Chain to a lesser degree, Link's Awakening, the Switch Lite, all these games that came out and were big. You have to imagine that we're probably around 40 million now, and then if you then factor in like the Christmas, they sold 10 million last Christmas with the power of Smash. You've now got the power of Pokemon this year, plus the Switch Lite, plus all the games that came out in the summer. I reckon we're going to see, if not 10 million, then at least 10 million, if not 12 million, let's say. So I think it's very easy to say that they're probably going to be at 50 million by the end of December, basically. Which means they're going to smash their target of 18 million in the year. They're going to smash their, they're basically going to smash Xbox out the water, definitely, because that's still only at 46 million, which was announced last week, and it's going to, just everyone's expectations for the console that wasn't like you or I that were into it. Everyone that was looking at it from an outsider perspective of like, the Wii U failed, this is going to fail. There's no games for it, blah blah blah. It's kind of crazy how well it's doing and how well it is continuing to do.
I just think, and I've always thought that it was kind of inevitable because like Nintendo hasn't had a handheld flop, and this is a handheld console.
Yeah.
So it's like you're just bringing all the best of both worlds. It's like you're bringing the console Nintendo to a handheld platform.
Yeah,
and that's just like a formula that just was like close to impossible to fail.
Yeah. I guess, and you're also taking full-fledged versions of like Mario and Zelda and Fire Emblem, and games like Fire Emblem you're then evolving and taking to a bigger degree on this handheld. And I think it being a handheld that you can play on the TV is such an interesting, unique selling point that there are people who don't care about exclusives. They just want to play their games in that way. They don't care about.
There's people
like,
that just wanted to play Overwatch in that way.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good luck doing that, lads. Good luck finding an online game, guys. Jeez. I think well, the question I put at the end of here is, can they keep this up? What do you think, AJ?
Yes.
Can they keep this up?
Yes.
I agree.
Because I've always thought that, and they're still not there yet because they're still not even done going through like their tent poles. But I always thought that they would just be able to say like, all right, we got the Marios and the Pokemons and the Animal Crossings out of the way. Now let's get weird. We're getting F-Zero. We're getting freaking Nintendo Land 2. Getting Pikmin 4. You're getting all the stuff that nobody really cares about, but they're still like excited for.
Well, we still had a lot of that. We've had a lot of that so far. We've had a lot of things like. Even ARMS, I guess it's not quite the same, but ARMS is a game that was never going to sell loads and loads and loads, but they did it for the niche franchise. Bayonetta 3, Bayonetta doesn't sell very well. Bang, let's do a Bayonetta game. Metroid Prime 4, Metroid is not a series that sells very well. We're doing another one for the fans. Astral Chain, these games, these Platinum style games never sell very well. We're doing it for the fans, so I feel like Nintendo are already doing that, and it's working for them because they do like long tail where they just capture lots of little markets as well as the big markets like Mario Party, Mario Kart.
I think
Super
the
Mario
thing that's
Odyssey.
different. I think the thing that's different with these specifically, like you brought up, like Metroid and Bayonetta. I think Metroid and Bayonetta, what they have for going for them now that they never did before is that they're on a popular platform that's not crowded with the games like them.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that it's going to be less of a thing of Metroid, it only sold 900,000 copies worldwide or something stupid like that. I think it's going to do a lot better because it's more of a prestige piece. It's like, this is our Halo or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, don't ever compare Metroid to Halo again.
I'm just saying in terms of success.
And slap you. But
I'm just saying in terms of success, they're going to be able to say like, look at this game, you know. Like,
I do think that Metroid Prime 4 specifically, will probably do better than games before it because people have had 10, by that point, 30 years to discover Metroid Prime as a series or Metroid games as a series because the internet has forced it and been like, you haven't played this game, like play this game. People might have had time to catch up.
it's like the Fallout effect.
Describe that to me. Oh, is it like Fallout 4 being huge, but the other Fallouts not being big?
Because like Fallout, there was the first two Fallouts that next to nobody knew about, and then Fallout 3 came out, and then it had so many years of like this like latent hype building up because of the 2-3 million people that bought this game and telling everybody this game is amazing, and then it slowly grew, and then the next one comes out and sells like 15 million in the first week.
Yeah, it's like if you bring out a sequel to like a cult classic film. Whereas the film might have not been people might not have been interested in the film originally because generations of people have had time to discover the film and find it on the internet and things like that. A sequel's going to do well because you've got this new audience that wasn't there before. And I think Metroid's one of those games that I came into it late, as I'm sure a lot of people did, because obviously it's got loads of fans now that it didn't back then. So again, like Metroid Prime 4 coming out that captures the FPS market for one, captures the Metroid market that has now been growing. I think it's going to be more of a success than previous games. I hope. That's me hoping because I'd like the series to continue and
I think it's
do better.
Absolutely going to be a bigger success. I think there's no question there.
Yeah.
The question really is like how much more of a success where it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, there has been a trend with Nintendo, with the Switch specifically, the games just keep breaking records. Breath of the Wild was the best-selling Zelda game. Mario Odyssey broke records. Fire Emblem is breaking records. I reckon Pokemon's probably going to break records because people are excited about it, despite there being that vocal minority, I guess. There are a lot of games that's like this.
I mean, there was a vocal minority for Pokemon Let's Go, and that still sold close to 11 million copies.
Yeah, it's weird how that dropped off. That did 10 million in like the first month.
Because everybody that wanted it just bought it. And was like, all right, I have this game, I'm done.
It doesn't have the appeal of these ones, I guess, does it?
Yeah, but it's just the thing of like it exceeded expectations because prior to that, console Pokemon games that were like these spin-offs like Pokemon Coliseum and like Gale of Darkness and stuff like that didn't even break 5 million.
Yeah,
so now
I didn't know it sold that many, to be honest.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure it was like at most low 4 millions.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
And that's like a conservative guess.
I always saw those games as incredibly niche.
Well,
might be
for
because
Pokemon
I
games.
didn't own them.
For Pokemon games, for sure.
Yes,
but they they are like million sellers.
Damn,
they're just not like
weird how we don't do
big for Pokemon games.
Many of those anymore. But I guess we don't need to anymore because we're getting actual real life Pokemon. So.
Yeah, like that was the compromise. It was like because Game Freak was so against like, no, it's pocket monsters. You can't put a GameCube in your pocket.
Yeah. It's very cool that we're getting. Do you know, I was just a second ago when you said about Let's Go not being the Pokemon game people were waiting for, I just had a flashback to being like telling my friends like, oh yeah, don't worry, this game's out, then the Switch Pokemon game's out next year, and that's literally like a month away. That's really cool.
Yep.
See, Pokemon hype's taken over, man. I can't stop myself.
Pokemon is great, you know.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I can't wait any longer, but what I'm gonna have to wait for. See, that's a segue right there. What we're gonna have to wait for. It's Doom Eternal because it was delayed into 2020.
We gotta wait an eternity.
We have to wait an eternity. AJ, you're on fire, man. We have to wait an eternity for Doom Eternal, but not just that. Switch users are going to have to wait longer than anyone else because the PS4, Xbox One, and PC versions have a release date of March 20th, but the Switch version has no release date and is being confirmed to launch at a later date. How worried are you about the Switch version?
Not really worried. I mean, the first one turned out fine.
Yeah. I did get told off earlier for referring to it as a weak port, but I've not actually played enough of it to confirm. So
how dare you? No, but people that want the Switch version are going to get the Switch version.
Yeah. Cool, true. I just think, there's this thing with delays that when something is delayed and you go, oh, that's a shame. It's a shame I have to wait. People go, what, do you want a broken, buggy game? Do you not want the game to be? Do you want these people to work really hard? Do you want crunch? Is that what you're after? It's like, I'm not saying release the game early. I'm just saying I'm a bit disappointed that I was excited for this game. And it is a shame that it's been delayed. I understand why. The game's going to be better. People are going to be less stressed. There's obviously something that's not quite working. Yada, yada, yada.
See, they're delaying it because they don't want to get, effed by Animal Crossing, You got to get out of their way.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean on Switch? Way, you mean on Switch? Yeah, sorry, I'm talking about the game in general. But yeah, you mean
no. I'm talking about the Switch version. They don't want to get effed,
Add Doomguy to Switch, and then Isabelle and Doomguy can fight. Sorry, not Switch. Add Doomguy to Smash. Doomguy and Isabelle can fight, and then we'll see who the real winner is.
It's probably going to be Doomguy because Isabelle's bottom tier.
Isabelle's a small dog, and
Isabelle's not V good.
Also, so Doom 64, which was announced in the September Direct, has also been delayed, but is now being offered as a pre-order bonus. So that's kind of cool. That if you were originally I'm going to get Doom 64, I think it was actually supposed to come out in November. That's been delayed further, and you can now get that for free. I don't know if this is like an appeasement thing, or if it just happens to be that.
Aren't these games like a couple bucks?
Doom 3 is the latest one. Is about $10. I think it's about maybe $10. And Doom 64 being a newer game in my head was going to be about $15, $20. As a pre-order bonus, that's kind of cool. It might have always been planned as a pre-order bonus, but we're just hearing about it now because of the delay. But it could also be like an appeasement thing of we're sorry, but pre-order the game and you get this now. I'm assuming that's only going to be digitally as well, so people that buy the game physically probably aren't going to luck out like that unless they do some sort of distribution like with Pokemon Chinese.
Yeah,
but we'll see, I guess. It's a shame the game has been delayed, and I think it's a shame for the game in general because it has been delayed into an incredibly busy, not just quarter, but a month.
Yeah, it's Holiday 2.0.
Yeah. It's, what is it, Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's within a month of Last of Us 2. That's a busy old time, is March 2020. Oh, and Animal Crossing, of course, obviously, which is a big Switch game.
Which is why they're delaying the Switch version. That's why.
Yep. Yeah, it's just it's a shame if that game's going to be affected by that at all. Because there are people that like Doom are going to buy Doom. People that like The Last of Us are going to buy The Last of Us. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be a massive crossover. And they're different games. My friends that like The Last of Us don't like Doom, so. That's my anecdotal evidence for that. Well, I don't know. They think it's too arcadey and too rubbish and running around just going boom boom boom. They don't listen to this podcast, so I can say what I want about them.
I can say what I want about them anyway. I don't know.
Do it. Do it.
They're dumb. They're big, stupid idiots.
Yeah.
They just don't like pressing buttons.
Yeah, take it, Joe. Yeah. Do you know what would help us come up with better segues?
Oh my god, I hate it. I'm not even going to entertain this.
if we trained our brain, Dr. Kawashima's brain training, which was announced last week for the
Nihon,
for the Switch, for Japan, which isn't called brain training out there. It's called Brain Age, I think.
It was called Brain Age here.
Well, it's Brain Age in the US, wasn't it? Yeah. Whereas in the UK, it was Dr. Kawashima's brain training. So it's been officially confirmed to release outside of Japan.
So it's not announced for the US yet.
Has it been released has it been announced for Europe, or is it the US, or is it just
This is just Europe.
That's because there's going to be a next news article that says Brain Age has been announced for.
Yeah, that'd be next week. That would be next week. And it'll have the real release date because this is a fake, stupid one. The one that's coming out in Japan is on my birthday. So
When's your birthday?
That's what they're going to do. December 27th. That's what they're going to do. I'm going to be 26.
26. Oh, same age as me. But hang on, they're releasing it in December 27th. In Japan.
Yep.
Do they celebrate Christmas in Japan?
They do, but it's not as big of a deal.
Oh, okay, that's probably why then. Yeah, that'd be.
I mean, as it is here, I should say.
It would be suicide to do it in the Western world. Yeah. So Dr. Kawashima's brain training. How do you feel about it?
I think it's neat because that's how they're going to get the grandmas to buy a Switch. You know.
Yeah.
Bob's mom's going to get it. He's going to get it for his mom, and she's going to play Switch, and she's going to be better than him, a Mario Maker.
Yep. I think this and Ring Fit, as a pair, very much speak to the audience that they captured with the Wii. That they're probably like, okay, we've got the core audience in. They're getting their Breath of the Wild. They're getting their Mario Odyssey. They're getting the Breath of the Wild 2s. They're getting their Bayonettas. They're getting their blah 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 blah. Let's do something for the other market that we're trying to reclaim with the. So this is where I'm confused, right? They're clearly trying to reclaim the market, like a more casual market that the Wii had with Ring Fit and brain training, right?
Right.
But they're also trying to reclaim the more casual market with the Switch Lite, which is not compatible with Ring Fit.
I mean, it is, but it's not. Because you just got to get Joy-Cons. Like
I guess
Switch
so.
Lite still supports Joy-Con. But.
Yeah, okay, I guess so. But then you've got to then prop up the Switch Lite. So this is, I actually think brain training might be compatible. There's just exclusive features that aren't.
For Joy-Con, yeah.
Ring Fit, specifically, you'd
you
have to
need
prop
the
it
Joy-Con.
Up. You'd prop it up to your face, maybe, possibly, to be able to see it. You'd have to be able to perform the actions and blah, blah, blah. It's not going to work. Whereas brain training probably will work. You just won't be able to do, like, without a set of Joy-Cons, the whole... Here's my finger, I'm counting my fingers. Which actually was announced... It was like the first Joy-Con feature announced, I'm pretty sure, was there's a camera you can do...
And they've used it. They used it in, like, 1-2 Switch with the, like, sandwich eating minigame and stuff like that.
Yeah, oh, God. Oh, I can't say how little I care about that game, man. Should have been WarioWare. It just should have been WarioWare. Are you going to pick this up? Do you need to train your brain?
Nah, man, I get the most trained brain that you ever seen, you know?
I could probably do with a bit of brain training, but I'm probably not going to get it. It comes with a stylus. That's an interesting point.
Oh, shoot. It comes with a stylus? I'm definitely getting it now, man. Mario Maker's unplayable without a stylus.
Well, Mario Maker has a stylus, doesn't it?
Not in America, dude, so that means it doesn't.
That's hilarious. It's just, what we need to remember is that in Europe, Mario Maker's called Dr. Mario's Brain Training.
Oh my
so that's
God.
why we've got the stylus with it.
And in Europe, you guys don't have fingers, so...
No, we just have stumps.
Yeah, so you got...
With holes for styluses.
You gotta
I've got
get the
five, 5 stylus hand. I mean, I don't... That's all I've got to say about that one. It's just a series of...
You know what? Sudoku?
I never played Sudoku. And it's one of those things, if I wanted to play Sudoku, I would do it on my phone because I would just be able to take it out of my pocket and go ding 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 and then like Google the answers. Whereas on the Switch, I'd have to like
don't play Sudoku on their phones. Phones are to play Mario Kart Tour. Can you imagine if we had a story about Mario Kart Tour?
I specifically didn't include the Mario Kart Tour stuff because it really annoys me.
Because it's dumb. It's a dumb game.
There were 2 stories. One was like the pay $39.
Oh yeah, like Diddy Kong
or something like
pack
that.
Or whatever.
And I can't remember what the other one was, but I was just like, nah, I'm not I haven't even downloaded that game. I'm not entertaining that.
I downloaded it. It's not good. Parker downloaded it, and at first he said it's not good, but now he's like, he's being Parker theoretically,
Actually, I keep kind of like, but that's because Parker is a doo-doo head.
Yes, as we established at the top.
He is a doo-doo head, and he sounds like Kermit. And he is more than welcome to tell me how much he loves Mario Kart Tour, whatever it's called, in his Kermit voice, and I'll do like a Miss Piggy thing, and I'll beat him.
Oh my God!
That's the new Max and Parker dynamic. I'm his wife, and I just beat him when he says he likes things that I don't like.
Well,
why am I his wife? Why am I the woman? Why have I made myself the woman in this scenario?
It's too late. You already did it. Once you say stuff on the internet, once you say stuff on podcasts, it never goes away. That's why we're still talking about fruits. That's why we're gonna have a theoretically shirt at some point.
I don't think. Oh yeah, that's a good shirt. That's a good bit of merch.
I'm saying.
Sorry, sorry, not merch.
Yeah, how dare you?
Apparel.
How dare you? How dare
apparel.
you? How dare you call it apparel? I meant merch.
Can you please get Kermit with a beard and a nose ring as part of the apparel? I will.
You got to get more people on board. We almost always like people always are in the in joke of theoretically like people know stuff about that. Yeah. I've never heard anybody get on board with the Kermit thing. You got to drum up support.
That's really for me. Actually, that's more for my girlfriend. My girlfriend's the one that pointed it out to me.
Oh, she said it first. Oh no, then she has to help you campaign.
He was doing a voice. I can't remember what the voice was. It was one episode when you talked about strawberries for so long. I actually ended up like skipping part of the podcast.
How dare you?
I'd heard the argument before elsewhere. To hear it again, anyway. Ella was like, "Oh, is he doing a Kermit voice?" And I was like, "No, he's just doing a voice for someone else." And she was like, "He actually sounds a bit like Kermit doing that voice." And I was like, "He sounds like Kermit all the time, actually." Oh, I love you, Parker. I hope being closer to me geographically was worth the jet lag.
You guys didn't even do anything. That was a waste, man. That was a waste.
Well, he was too far away, man, and he was too expensive.
No,
and he was every day. So.
You could just walk there, dude. You know.
Yeah.
Just like catch a Uber, you know.
Do you think Europe's one big country?
Obviously. It's just down the street, you know. It's right next to the Walmart.
Yeah, I should have just got in my car and just walked.
Yeah, get in your car and walk.
Oh, we're ill, man. So that's all the news. Any of that hype you beyond all expectations, or was it just awesome news that happened?
It was just news that happened, dude. Yeah. Brain training or brain age the correct name?
No.
That being effectively canceled in Europe for not coming out on the correct date. That's rough.
Cancelled in Europe.
It didn't come out on the best date. I'm sorry about it.
This Parker segue I'm going to do. This segue I'm going to do is in the style of Parker. I'm just going to say. So that was the news and all that great stuff. And then you can take over and talk about your video that you did.
I did two videos.
You did two videos.
This one was about Pokemon.
Shocked.
How dare you? I told the people I was going to do a Pokemon video because people were asking me about Pokemon, but I was doing the Smash Bros. Challenge and I wanted to do it, you know?
The people respond to Pokemon, man. They do, and that's why we like it.
Yes, people want to hear me talk about Pokemon, you know?
Of course they do.
So that's what I did. And I talked about how Pokemon Company and Game Freak and Nintendo are talking about Pokemon too much, but at the same time not enough, which is a weird problem to have.
Imagine what your channel could do if you were a Pokemon channel. If you were Velicify, whatever his name is, and you were just making up lies. If you were making lies up about Pokemon for clickbait, imagine.
Right. Yeah.
You've got too much integrity, AJ, is the problem.
Yeah, I know, it's unfortunate. It really screwed me over in this trying time, you know, but we're working on it. We're trying to do it the right way, you know.
I don't need to come on and start roasting other YouTubers on your podcast.
It's fine. I do it, but not as directly.
Oh, okay. It's just
yeah, exactly. I'm just like those other Switch channels that like post like 3 videos a day, and like they're like the new Joy-Con color, and then they make 2 separate videos about it, and then each one's at least 7 minutes long.
Yeah,
those channels.
One's like new purple Joy-Con, and the other one's like new orange Joy-Con.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they do a third video, blah, 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 blah. What was your video about?
My video? Are you talking about the Pokemon one?
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it.
Yes, I literally just said what it was about.
Oh, I knew what it was about, so I just stopped listening because I knew what it was about.
I literally said that.
Tell me about the comments. AJ.
So, we got comments. I thought you were supposed to read the comments.
Oh, yeah, I'm reading the comments.
I'm the sick boy.
I'm reading the comments. So, first comment. It's from a guy called Oh So Animated. I have to really read this in like a cartoon man voice, but I'm not going to do that. He says, all right, for me personally, I think Game Freak being secretive is a good thing. We spoke about this earlier. Sure, in past generations, information spills out more as the game gets closer, but considering how they're trying to bring new features, mechanics, etc. into Sword and Shield without the constant backlash of the fans, maybe being more secretive is the move for this game. Which, yeah, I agree. They want to bring changes to the franchise, and before people even playing the game, they're complaining and cancelling pre-orders and whatnot. A slow and steady reveal of information in this generation is a smart move, especially considering the fact that people are quick to harass developers because they're not getting what they believe should be in the game. Preach it. Sure, we're not used to being this close to launch with so little information, but at the same time, change from the normal is not a bad thing. Hashtag Grookey Gang, my boy, So Animated.
He spelled Grookey wrong, so it doesn't even matter.
Video, man. So Animated, you have said, not only have you read my mind, I said exactly what I'm thinking,
doesn't
you're
matter.
also a big old Grookey fan.
He spelled Grookey wrong. He spelled Grookey wrong, so he's not.
Oh,
he's not.
Yeah, I'll let him off.
Yeah,
he haven't had enough Grookey yet. So
small time Grookey fan. He spelled it wrong. But. Yeah, I agree with this, but at the same time, I just think that like how they've positioned this whole thing with Game Informer kind of shoots them in the foot. Because they're like, this exclusive information and stuff like that, and it's like we're not really getting exclusive information. They're just re-announcing stuff that was either a given or they've said before. Where they're like, yeah, we're not giving you national decks, but like we'll do the Pokemon that we took out again in the future, which is really just like reopening the wound, Like, so it's like there's just certain things that they announced that are like, as if it's like this brand new info, but it's just like HMs are back.
Yeah,
they've been back for 2 games already, like
which also Animated's point is that this is a good thing, that they're not revealing too much, and they are just sort of drip feeding and even just reiterating news. And I agree, because it's going to be fun for the game when we come to it. And being more secretive is the move for this game. I agree.
Yeah, just stop talking about it though. Like, if you're not going to say anything, don't say anything.
Yeah, but they've still got to market the game and get it in people's work, get it in people's eyes, get it on Twitter, blah blah blah. So by not revealing new information, by maybe contextualizing or looking at old information from a new angle, or even pitching old information that maybe was mentioned just in passing now as a given or like as actual facts information, it keeps the game in people's minds and in the conversation without.
I think the problem is like because of the context of it all, people misconstrue it as new info. Like I've even seen like Stealth. He's like a Nintendo...
Stealth 40K.
Yeah. He retweeted the Game Informer article that announced, in quotes, that Pokemon will come back to the national... that are cut from the national decks in Galar will come back in future games. And he read that headline as they're listening, like they're bringing back the national decks and stuff like that. And then like before I could even respond or retweet and say like I think you had the wrong read on this, he deleted it because he was like someone he didn't.
So I guess that it is Game Informer were obviously sharing that information as a thing of like, don't worry about the national decks, even though it was information we already knew. It was just what they've done. They've obviously had loads of interviews. They're just grabbing a bunch of information. And because the people giving the answers from Game Freak have a list of things they can and can't say, they're obviously going to be releasing, recovering the same information. So for Game Informer, this is like new stuff for them, I guess, and they're just taking what they can out of their interviews and making it, new information. So I can understand how there might be people that grab it and it's new to them. That was a good comment. I like that because I agree with it. It's Benjamin Aquino, who I mentioned earlier. Great guy. His comment says, "I'm conflicted. On the one hand, the drip feed of information gets me very anxious and impatient. I want to know more and have my excitement levels be off the charts. On the other hand, the amount of information we received before launch of Sun and Moon was too much. Agreed. It felt like we already knew what to expect, so the beginning of the game left something to be desired. Agreed. On the third hand," he puts lol in brackets.
You have too many hands.
All of the information is going to be leaked by people who get early access to the game and ruin all the surprises for everyone. Agreed. Yes, I get really annoyed with this data mining world we live in. That being said, I guess Pokemon Go Pokemon Company should control their own message ahead of the data miners and give us the information we crave. I agree with like everything up to the last bit, right? So data miners and stuff, it ruined Pokemon Moon for me.
Yeah.
Because I knew all the Pokemon going in and we knew everything going in, but not through my own fault of me looking for it, but because I follow people on Twitter that are reporting on this news and need to report on news like that to exist. People that rely on Pokemon news to be a
but there's like a way to cover stuff like that.
But I don't agree that Pokemon Company should reveal everything about the game before the data miners do. We just need to hope that the data miners, aren't so vocal, which they will be, but
that was the whole thing about, like, we've had this conversation before about Smash Brothers. Because I was really vocal about how I didn't like how they were promoting that game and how the marketing campaign was everybody's here. Because it would be so much more hype if I didn't know that. Because the characters that I was, if I unlocked Pokemon, I would have lost my mind. I would have had a freaking like crazy level reaction video, like, because Pokemon Trainer, I freaking unlocked them and saw the challenger approaching screen. But because it was just this short little blip on this trailer, it was like, that's cool.
But at the same time, everybody's here was the sort of the big selling point of the game. That it is the ultimate.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, I don't think it needs to be. It's Smash Brothers. The selling point is like, it's another Smash Brothers. Like, that's literally enough of a selling point.
Yeah, but then this game in a month became like the best selling Smash Brothers game and the best selling fighting game of all time. Which I think
you mean like how every Smash Brothers game becomes the best selling fighting game of all time whenever they come out?
True.
They always leapfrog each other. Just the existence of it being a sequel to the last thing, it's going to inherently
have recency bias, obviously. I agree with the first bit of Benjamin's comment about how I'm also conflicted because I'm like, I want this information, but I'm glad they're not giving it to us because it's going to be exciting when it happens. And I also agree that Sun and Moon, when I got into the game, I was like, yeah, I know all the evolutions to this, I know all of this, but I disagree that they should be getting one step ahead of data miners, and it's almost like negotiating with terrorists, and like giving out the information before the terrorists get hold of it, kind of thing, because it ruins it for everybody as opposed to just the people that are in the right circle to catch things from data miners. Like, I'm going to be on a blackout before the game comes out. I'm going to mute Pokemon stuff. I'm going to not go on certain websites.
See, that's where I feel detached from this whole thing, because despite my job, I never accidentally get spoiled on literally anything ever.
Really?
Ever. That's why I'm like, I don't care if data miners get a hold of it. I care that they plaster it in the Nintendo Direct, because I have to look at the Nintendo Directs. I don't have to follow these leakers,
Mm-hmm.
So like that's the thing that annoys me with stuff like this. So yeah, I'm mixed on it. I wish that they were more secretive than they're being, and due to the fact that they're not being secretive, it's annoying that what they announce, how they announce it, because it's like, if you're going to tell me about Pokemon Camp, tell me about Pokemon Camp, but if you're not, then don't, because the exciting thing is knowing that it's there, not all the nitty gritty of it,
Yeah. So what you're saying is you've got blue Pokeballs.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Right.
Pika Cinema. Good comment, Benjamin Aquino. I'm going to say your name again because I learned how to say it from Parker. Benjamin Aquino. Pika Cinema says, this is the last comment from this video. I'm happy with this. In fact, the less we know, the more excited I am, because that just means there'll be more to discover in-game than if they told us everything like they did with Sun and Moon. But I can definitely see what you mean. Either way, I'm looking forward to seeing what they'll do for this last month leading up to release. Which actually, that brings up a really good point, that there's a month before release, and they're going to probably end up doing like a countdown thing with information. Don't they generally... Oh, I'm thinking of Smash Brothers.
We can't even do what they generally do. You're saying like the everyday thing, because Smash Brothers, like every weekday they post something. They're like, here's a song, here's a screenshot. And there's also,
didn't they do like a 100 points about Smash Brothers video for like one of the games?
They did 50 facts about Smash Brothers.
So that kind of thing. In my head that was Pokemon, so ignore me. But still, I'm interested in what they're going to do for last month. There's probably going to be a couple new trailers, a couple more reveals, because really we only really know like about a couple of the new Pokemon. which is, obviously we're talking about them not really revealing a whole load of stuff.
And we know that there's over 1,000 now, so that means that they put.
Do we?
Over,
Sorry,
yeah,
I missed that.
Because when they announced that the National Dex wasn't coming back, Masuda said that had they brought the National Dex back, they would have to implement over 1,000 Pokemon. Currently, there's like 812 or something like that.
Yeah, so that's a lot of... Considering we already know that there's 256 Pokemon in the game so far, including new gen and old gens, that means we're looking at 150, 200 new Pokemon maybe?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
So that means we're going to have a total of about 300 to 400 Pokemon overall.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was more than that, because all they said is that we're not getting a National Dex. Like, everybody's acting like half the game got cut out. Yeah. But all they said is we're not getting every Pokemon. What? That could literally just mean that we lost 12 Pokemon. That could mean that, Yeah. Like, they never said how much the National Dex they're cutting.
Sun and Moon, you finished the game and that was it. I don't remember, I guess the whole argument here is now it's on the Switch.
You could still import the Pokemon and stuff like that. It just wasn't in the Pokédex.
I feel like what people have done is they hype themselves up so much for the Breath of the Wild of Pokemon that they then that when they realized they weren't getting it, they were like.
But also, it's the console version of Pokemon. I think that's another part of it. Like, if Breath of the Wild didn't exist, it still would be like, this is the first console Pokemon, and they have less stuff than the handheld, And we don't know that. It could still technically be more Pokemon that you're able to catch in this Pokedex that's in this game, but it's just not every Pokemon,
Yeah. Everyone is here. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in the last month. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they plan on revealing, what they plan on not revealing, what new trailers we get, what new stuff we see in terms of the wild area. There's all kinds of things. But I'm also really excited just to have my hands on the game.
Right. Same.
Yeah, so that was a good comment from Mr. Pika Cinema, and a good video from Mr. AJ. If you haven't seen it, youtube.com/fanatixfour, give it a watch.
Yeah, also, it should be linked in the card at the end if you're done watching the podcast.
I mean, you should have seen the video by now. You should always be watching. You should be subscribed.
Every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, every single Tuesday. Dude, even when I'm sick, man.
Yeah, look at you go. Even I watch those videos. And not just because I was coming on the podcast, because I care about the content and I care about the stuff you do. And actually, I don't even know. Did you ever watch my video, AJ?
Yes, I watched your video. Okay. Are you stupid?
Just testing you. Name. What's the first word? No, I'm not gonna.
I don't know. It was the first word that I said. I don't even know the first word that I said either. On either one of these videos.
Yeah, I can't think of either. Let's go into the second video, AJ video 2, which was this one was the...
This
one.
What happened in Nintendo Selects Player's Choice situation. Yeah. So, Parker's RIP. But before Parker went RIP, we talked about, okay, what are we going to do? Because we always do that. We're like, all right, somebody's not going to be here, so what's happening? What are we doing? Who's replacing who, and what's going on? So Parker was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a full video before I leave. And I was like, well, we can try seeing how much of the video you can do, and then I can just finish that. Because otherwise, I'm just doing two full-fledged videos, which is doable, but a headache. Especially since a lot of stuff that came up that day and the day before that I wasn't expecting. Yeah. So he wrote about half of the script. And then I went through and I rewrote the parts that are like, this, I wouldn't say that, and then I added the second half of the script.
You took all the Parkerisms out and you replaced them with AJ-isms.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. I liked the video because I've wondered this myself a lot about the when are we getting them, but I guess it's very similar to the whole talk about these expensive or full price Switch ports. They don't need to do them right now, but it would be cool to show off the library. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I'm talking about it. No one cares what I think. We care about what people that comment think. God, you pick so many long comments for this, but I guess what did I expect on this show?
Because that's what most of our comments are either people being like, good video, or it's like people basically making their own video in response to our video.
In this essay, I will be covering the following points.
Exactly. And I think those comments are just, more conducive to something like this than just us reading a whole bunch of comments. They're like, you guys make good stuff,
Yeah. Which you could read out. You probably don't get very many of them, though. Oi.
How dare you?
So this name, I really hope I'm reading this right, because if not, I'm just...
It's G Pimpio 1. Yes. Yep.
Okay, good. G Pimpio, great name. If it's unintentional, still great name. If it's like Pimpio, and it's
it's G Pimpio. We've confirmed this.
Okay.
He gets a kick out of Parker reading it, and he'll probably get a kick out of you reading it.
Yeah, G Pimpio. Anyway, so regarding the podcast, I would assume Atropius is not like a chicken. Oh yeah, I remember this from last week. I'd assume Atropius is not like a chicken, as is a plant, and plants bear fruit, whereas chickens don't bear chickens next to the same. Chickens aren't fruit. Chickens are theoretically not fruit.
Oh my god.
Also, that's an excellent point about the rarity of a primary flying type Pokemon. Tornadus is the only monotype flying Pokemon, and Noivern are the only family with flying as their primary type. That's very interesting. I didn't know that.
This comment, I like this comment, but at the same time, this comment is not great for the algorithm, my guy. it would be a lot better if you could leave these comments on these videos on the videos that they belong to, because this just consolidates everything into one video, and that one is the only one that's getting the credit for. Oh, you watched this video? Okay, cool. Like people care about this one.
Okay, yeah. G Pimpio, split your comments up, homie.
Yeah, split them up, man. Copy and paste.
Yeah. Because now, if we end up bringing this up again, I'm gonna have to reference back to you, and I haven't scrolled far enough to know if that's gonna happen. So I need you to keep me in check, G Pimpio.
See, here's my theory. This was a big brain play, because he's like, okay, they pick roughly one comment per person, but I want to comment on everything they did this week.
There's always like 3 green,
the big blame,
couple of F-Zero kids.
Q&A is a loophole. That's a loophole. If you want us to read you more than once, probably put it in Q&A. Because that one, unless we have too much Q&A, I just grab everything.
I noticed there's no Bianca in this. Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah, she is. Anyway, she slid in at the end. On Twitter.
Anyway, let's go on to his second comment. I'm actually going to put a space here so we know that this is about a different topic. And this is about a different topic. Wow, he has done that. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I agree. Tropius is not like a chicken. Tropius is, you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit, and just assume that he's like a tree, and that you can pluck a banana off, and he'll grow a new one.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they didn't have, like, if that wasn't a thing in the anime, where it's like Ash is like, I'm hungry, dude. I need a banana or a nab berry.
He tears this fruit Tropius's thorax. Is that the right word? And just causes this immense pain. This isn't a Mega Evolution Pokedex. Pokedex entry. Like, you don't have to be so brutal about it.
Right.
Anyway, let's jump around in time. Regarding your first video, I totally agree. This is back to G Pimpio's comment. I feel like we've learnt basically nothing, despite new information coming out somewhat regularly. Although only information I need is the final evolutions of the starter, because I enjoy the surprise of new Pokemon with unique type combinations that I get to guess, rather than knowing everything going into it. I would like to know the final evolutions of the starters, just so I can finally confirm my devotion to our Lord and Saviour Grookey.
Yeah, so when you see how garbage he continues to be,
he's gonna have a drum, AJ. I'd like to see your who are you? What team are you on?
Sobble, man.
Sobble.
Sobble, man.
Oh, that's pathetic.
Just like the rest of the internet.
That is bizarre. I would guess the internet's full of very sad.
No, you're bizarre. You're bizarre. Clearly, because you picked the least popular one.
Yeah, true. I am. Yeah, statistically, I'm bizarre.
We protect. We attack.
What?
We protect and we attack.
Oh yeah. Right. Yes. Yes, I agree. Evolution new starters. I also enjoy the surprise of new Pokemon, which is why I like seeing new Pokemon revealed. And even things like the 24-hour stream, where I like to see in my head multiple new Pokemon, and what I actually get is one half new Pokemon. So, cheers, Game Freak.
Yep, we get one new remaster of Pokemon and a tease of that remaster sequel.
Yes. Yeah. So we are finally back in the present day.
Yeah.
Present part of this podcast. Regarding your second video, I think the Switch is selling too well for them to discount any first-party games. Yes. Excuse me. I think games like Kirby or Mario Tennis, which are modest successes but in no way evergreen titles like Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey, should be made cheaper sooner. I agree. There are no realities where I pay $60 for Kirby. It seems possible at $40. I think the bottom line is that they value their IP too highly. I also love the name Swap for the next Switch. I enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
So pretty much like you said and like we said, they don't need to start discounting things because these are evergreen titles that are always going to sell. Which you win some, you lose some. You know, in that you pay $60 for Breath of the Wild and you get a game that's worth $100, and you pay $60 for Link's Awakening and you get a game that's maybe worth $30 or $40. But overall, it probably evens out. Kirby Mario Tennis. We've already seen discounts on Mario Tennis.
I mean, to be fair, we've seen discounts on all of these games, including Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. They're just not like permanent, but they regularly are like, get it on the eShop for this week for $45 or whatever. Yeah.
Or they had the whole event where you could play Mario Tennis and then get it cheaper as well for like 33% off or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see some of their their mid-tier games go on sale, and it is odd that you can't pick up Kirby for less than the full price from Nintendo or other places. But I don't think those are the kind of games you're going to get at Nintendo Selects line. You're just going to maybe get a price cut on them.
See, I'm double as upset about Kirby being triple, because I knew the game was going to be what the game was, and everybody was like, "No, you didn't even play it yet. Like, you can't say that."
The hand holding plays itself.
And then I bought the game, and this was like, I don't know, a month after I became a Nintendo brand ambassador, and I didn't know how the program worked. So I literally could have got it for free if I just asked them for it, but I did not. Rip, dude.
Their bottom lines are value the ITB. Yeah, because their games will continue to sell, and they do continue to sell, and they're only going to really reduce them when it comes to, like, I don't know, let's say we're in the middle of year 3 or 4, and they're like, we've got too many games out. How do we re-highlight some of these original classics and show off the library? And you do that through a Nintendo Select.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to do, like I said in the video, I think it's going to be stuff like Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out. So let's add Breath of the Wild 1 to...
Yes. Yeah. Grimhane, with his first comment of the day. How many that's going to end up being, we don't know yet. He says, okay, now for the series, have you missed out a bit here?
The first one was basically first... That was his first comment.
Okay, fine. So, I'd hope that since Nintendo has hinted, if not outright said, that the Switch is going to be somewhat of a family of systems, and the Switch Lite certainly lends credibility to this idea, that they would eventually start to discount some of their original titles for the Switch. Obviously, from a financial standpoint, they likely wouldn't feel too pressured to do this. A lot of people who buy their Switch, whatever, in 2022, post the launch of Breath of the Wild 2 and Super Mario Iliad. I'm assuming that's like the sequel to the Odyssey or something, or like the original, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he says it.
That's too galaxy brain for me, Grimhane.
He says a tip of the hat if you so he elaborates.
Yeah, tip of the cappy. We'll also purchase the original games even at full price. So sorry because we had a gap there. People that want to buy Breath of the Wild 2 and Super Mario Odyssey 2 will also purchase the original games even at full price because they have played these games. And since I'm sure Nintendo has already seen a straight profit from those games, they won't have to care about how well they'll sell. Mm-hmm. It would still be a good thing to do, especially for the multiplayer games, which by then may not be as populated because of the player base moving on. Dropping the price would increase the number of those new to Switch customers purchasing those games, and this will give the established player base who are still playing the games some new blood, so to speak, as well as allow the new players to experience a still vibrant multiplayer experience. I felt compelled here to specify that I'm not talking about Smash because those players are crazy and the level of dedication scares me a little, pointing no fingers at AJ.
How dare you.
Oh,
no, he said I'm looking at you.
Fans.
He's
okay,
not talking to me.
AJ,
He's not talking to me.
Did
we talk about this? Oh, I'm talking about this later. I'll bring this back up.
Yeah, okay. We can stop. I can break this here.
All right. Well, so one of the things that happened when Falcon was here is Falcon was like, "Yo, Melee's trash," and I was like, "Yo, I'm about to get you canceled." It's like you're not allowed to say that. Like that's how you get canceled on the internet. So fast forward, we were playing Melee, and I was like, "Yo, you're kind of right. Melee is kind of garbage."
Oh yeah, Melee's like, it's not as interesting to watch as Smash Ultimate. It's not as interesting to play as Smash Ultimate. It's not as interesting to look at as Smash Ultimate. It's just so mechanically well known and it's so mechanically pure that I can see why it's still played as a competitive game. But yeah, people that like Melee are too obsessed with Melee. People that call for Melee HD are the worst. People that like, when are we getting Melee HD? They're the worst.
I feel like if they give them Melee HD, they're going to not like it for whatever reason. They're like, oh, the difference in pixel densities throws off the hitboxes and hurtboxes and stuff, you know?
If you give them Melee HD, they will ask for everything. So don't. They will start like taking over the world, asking for everything. Anyway, before I jump in, because actually this is quite a long comment so far. Yes, they're obviously. I think it seems like they're going to keep the Switch alive for a while, and that keeping the Switch alive by reducing or like keeping the old games at full price makes sense, because people are going to buy them anyway, like you say, and they've already made their profit from them. So yeah, I can see them not wanting to reduce it, but on the other hand, I also see them doing it to actually bring people in.
Yeah, you know, and I think it also like really depends on the messaging for like stakeholders, right? Like, what's more impressive, saying we sold 100,000 copies of this game at full price that's been out for however many years, or we sold 2 million of this game at this like significantly reduced price.
Yeah.
You know, it's like what do they care more about, the pure profit or the amount of like users that you converted?
Yeah, and also. By the time you've made your profit, any amount of numbers is good, because it then, you know, speaks to the lower the price of the games, the more people are going to buy the console at the end of the day. What you think, you'd assume. Yeah, I multiplayer games. I think Nintendo are supporting their multiplayer games for only sort of 2 years, like they have with. Arms,
yeah, like they stopped
specifically Splatoon,
yeah,
and now I guess Smash Bros.
I think Smash Bros. They're going to support that for longer than that.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's the Smash Bros. Game of this console, so yeah, I can see that. But things like Splatoon, I think before they reduce the copies of Splatoon 2, they're going to release Splatoon 3. I don't see them feeling a need to reduce the cost of a game that people aren't going to play anymore. New people aren't really going to be able to play, like the Splatfest and stuff. You might get sales, but I don't think they're going to do like a permanent price drop to bring new players into a game that's already kind of stagnant. Not stagnant for the player base, stagnant for improvements and updates, and things like that. So I see them releasing or revealing Splatoon 3 before they do a price drop. They didn't do it for the original Splatoon. I'm pretty sure that was still the cost it was up until Splatoon 2 came out, because they didn't need to, because there was enough of a player base. So right, second half of the comment. I would hope they price match physical and digital, but also offer the NSO folks some real discounts. I believe to date the only exclusive NSO discount has been those vouchers, which if you use properly save you $20, but only after you spend $100, which is still nice, but that's not the kind of deal I'd like as a perk for something I already pay full price for, or pay for in the first place. I think that the voucher deal was less of an offer to treat Nintendo Online users to thank them for signing up. I think that was more a case of, you're going to buy these games physically anyway. We'd rather you bought them digitally, and that was a sale we can't lose elsewhere, and you're going to pay full price for them. Here's some money off of them. Now you have to buy these 2 games, and
I think the Switch Online perks are like, rather than it being this one thing, which a lot of people like pin it up as, right? Like, there's always one thing that's like, this isn't the thing that's selling me, and that's what I would want to sell me on it, so this whole service isn't worth it. They more so see it as a death by 1,000 cut situation. It's like, you get SNES games and NES games and cloud saves and discounts from time to time, and like the Mario Tennis promotions, and you know, it's never going to be one thing that makes your $20 worth it, because that's just bad business on their
end. A lot of little things, because otherwise you're only going to appease some of the people if it's all hinges on one thing. So yeah, I disagree that they will do more discounts. I mean, look, they're still doing their birthday discounts, which I'm sure you're looking forward to getting in a couple of months. AJ, is they send you 30% off Wii U and 3DS games. Still, like nearly 3 years into the Switch's life, they're still doing that.
Yeah,
I don't think
I think I got wallpapers.
Incentive.
They had wallpapers last year or something like that.
Yeah. The thing is, they already have your business. They already have your subscription. What they want from you is then to buy more, which is why they give you a deal like this, where it's like, it seems like a good deal, but actually it's just as good a deal for Nintendo, because they're getting 2 untransferable purchases. You have to buy them in bulk to get the 2 purchases, and all they're really losing out on is $20 overall.
Right.
Which they
it's
get
just like any other subscription
anyway.
thing. It's like games with not games with gold. Well,
Games
games with gold or Game Pass and stuff like that. It's just a thing of like, okay, well, we're Xbox and we release 1 major game a year, but this way we guarantee that you're going to buy 2. You know, like no matter what you do, you bought 2 games from us this year, and that's fine with us. You know.
Yeah. They're not interested in making it more attractive. They're interested in you spending more money, which is all the discounts are ready for. Where am I in the comment?
And I don't know if that's the case. If they're not trying to make it more attractive, I just think that they're not like bending over backwards to make it more attractive, like a lot of people want them to.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's not them trying to be like, oh man, this is a supermodel. It's just like, oh yeah, this is like the most attractive girl in class, you know.
Most beautiful girl in the room.
Yeah.
Continuing on top of that, the games that were eligible were slightly limited, though still rather generous. So kind of a mixed bag overall. Should have finished there, man. Yeah, they were. I don't know if they were limited. It was kind of a lot of the Nintendo games that fit in that price bracket. That were full price digital sales for them. Like I said, they just wanted people to make these digital sales, and I had friends that don't buy digital games but still were like, that's a great deal, I save money, I'm going to buy these games digitally instead of buying them physically and then trading them when they're done with them.
I think most of the games that were in there, they pretty much had every first party Nintendo game that's eligible.
Yeah, and then they kept adding things like Fire Emblem and Astral Chain and things like that. Luigi's Mansion, I'm pretty sure, was on them, and you can still get them now. You can't buy the vouchers anymore. You can in Europe.
I think you can in Europe, yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine was going to buy them, and I was like, well, let's do a really roundabout way of you buying loads of £5 off Switch, eShop money, and then spending that, and then having money left over, and then turning the coins, blah blah blah. Eventually, he was going to end up getting like a really deep cut discount with coins on the top of it, but it was too convoluted, so he didn't do it. Right, let's finish this coming off because we've been here ages. On top of that, I've done that bit. In my ideal world, I'd love for Nintendo to offer something like what PS Plus and Xbox Live do, where you get current-ish games to play as long as you have the service. I would be willing to pay more than the current $20 a year for this, and I think it'd possibly be a good way to go for Nintendo. I can already hear Izzy complaining about which games are and aren't in this theoretical offer. I was going to say, when you said about people complaining, I was going to go, that's Izzy all over right there.
Yeah. No comment on that.
What do you think? Yeah, no comment on Izzy or just...
Yeah, on Izzy. I'm not going down that rabbit hole again. Fine. I don't want to hurt his feelings, you know?
Yeah. What do you think about paying more and getting more modern games? I don't think that's in Nintendo's best interest because the games are still selling at full price already.
Yeah, I think that would be more attractive to people, but again, I mean, like we said, that's not the thing that they're most worried about.
Yeah.
So I think it would be cool for us and be like, yeah, we get games that are like bigger deals and maybe you wouldn't have bought otherwise, but we'll play it because we got it for free or whatever.
I think we're not looking at sort of Wii U desperate Nintendo where you buy Mario Kart 8 and you get a full Nintendo game for free.
We're looking at Fat Nintendo Cat right now. Big deal Nintendo sell you Mario Kart 8 on your phone.
We're looking at Yakuza funded big boy Nintendo that are taking money and emptying wallets and collecting awards and doing all kinds of things. We're looking at a very bold Nintendo right now. I think so. With PS3, PS Plus, and Xbox Live, or third-party games on those consoles really only have a small window to get their games for full price, and that's why they drop in price quite quickly because new things are coming out. Whereas Nintendo generally is getting less releases because there aren't many developers interested in trying to make their games work on the Switch. Nintendo has a monopoly on it, which is why they don't have to think about reducing their stuff because they're like, we're not going to compete with ourselves. And our games sell anyway because people are buying the Switch to play these games. So I don't think we'll see that kind of a deal. It's a good comment. That was a long one, Grimpain. My sinuses are really full right now, and it's making it really hard to read. Thanks for making it so long. I am Soles says, I honestly think there's a slim chance they'll bring this back for physicals. It might be similar to the voucher promo they tested earlier this year, but cheaper, possibly $60 to $75 for 2 games. After all, the eShop sales have been killing it in the market. Physicals already get promos at retailers. True, that's a good point. I could be wrong, but I doubt Nintendo would only do that once. With that said, it probably won't happen until 2021. In the meantime, let's count down the days for the Pokemon Switch Lite. I'm not getting the Switch Lite, but I can appreciate that there are people excited for it. So chin to you. While I haven't.
I might. Just because it's the Pokemon one, you know.
Just try and get it off Bob.
You know, I mean, people would riot, dude. People hate that. So like whenever he unboxes like a Pokemon thing on Wolf Den Live, like a controller or something, like I want that, and people are like, he's not going to get that to you, right? And like, you know, when the delay catches up, he's like, okay. And people hate that, so people would riot in the streets if that happened.
That's an interesting point that I didn't think about when I watched your video, and also you didn't bring up that. Actually, did you bring this up? That they could actually implement this as a digital only thing.
I did bring it up.
Oops. In my defence, I had it in the car while I was driving. Audio only, obviously. Police that are listening.
Well, actually, we do have police there. Eric's a cop. Eric Kendall is a cop.
Don't
arrest him.
You have no jurisdiction here. So I must have missed that. But that's a really good point that they could do it as a digital only thing. Similar, just have it like a permanent price reduction. Call it a player's choice. But then people are still going to go out and buy it physically for full price because that's a less physical is a less appealing, a less valuable purchase to them than digital, which is why you get more coins for a digital purchase because it's less valuable to them. Yeah. So I can see them making it more of a digital only incentive. But they do, when they release it physically, they do release drop the price digitally anyway. Because I bought 2 copies of Ocarina of Time 3D Player's Choice. I bought a copy of my friend physically and I downloaded it myself digitally.
Yeah, I downloaded Ocarina of Time 3D for $20 or something like that, and then I remembered, I was like, wait, this game's not it, fam, not it, chief. So I stopped playing.
That's a controversial take.
I don't care.
Majora's Mask is better. Majora's Mask is a better game.
Me and Bob already made
a better game than Ocarina of Time.
This was an OG take. This was like the third video me and Bob ever did together, or some crap like that. And we're like, nah, man, those eras like N64 and PS1, not great.
Okay,
not great.
I can go for that. They're very heavily based on nostalgia. They're not as bad as the NES era. It's like you start the NES, oh that's bad. You get to like the SNES, you're like, these are great, and then you drop down to the PS1, you're like, eh. Then you go PS2, you're like, oh, this is great, and they just get.
Yeah, it's like the generations where it's like, we got to figure this out. You know, the Wii U's of the world.
Yeah.
We got to figure this out, and then the next thing's like, oh, okay, this is where you were really trying to go.
Yeah, the first generation of 4D games are going to be seen as trash. By the third generation of 4D games, we're going to be like, damn, man, The Last of Us 6 is amazing. How The Last of Us 3 was crap, man. Right. How are we playing that in 4D?
Right, exactly.
So, Q&A, last week's comments.
Yep.
Q&A, you guys ask questions on the videos, on the podcast. We ask on Twitter, or you ask on Twitter. I also ask on Twitter, actually.
Parker also asked on Twitter.
Parker asked on Twitter,
well, he's
and
not
also asked on Discord.
Yep.
You asked on Discord. I say we because I'm reading it out, but actually I did nothing, and I just reaped the rewards.
True.
Before I start, I'm really sorry about this. Crazy Derp. As a Gen 4 being my first Pokemon game and my first game ever. Wow, that's impressive.
That's wow.
Also back then I loved the TV show. I'm triggered by what I hear. Anyway, hang on, what's this about?
Me and MDB were like, Gen 4, worst gen. Outside of Heart Gold and Soul
Right,
Silver.
I'm calling the podcast here. See you later, Jen. It's really fun. That was directly to you. Good night, everyone.
I mean, it's facts. Gen 4 is not great.
I really like Gen 4.
You must have not played it in a long time.
Oh, you played 400 hours of it when it came out.
That's unfortunate.
That's my most played game ever. I'm pretty sure it's Pokemon Diamond.
That's unfortunate. Hopefully, Hopefully, when they remake it, they make it worth that 400 hours. But currently, as it stands, not great. Heart Gold, awesome. Platinum, Diamond, Pearl, pacing sucks. The Pokemon are like over designed, and a lot of them are gross looking. It's not great in the grand scheme of things, you know.
Anyways, do you think the new Pokemon games will make Luigi's Mansion sales worse because that's how close they come out? Anyways, do you think the new Pokemon games will make Luigi's Mansion sales worse because how close they come out to each other? Love these podcasts. Would support button broke, so I give it likes. Likes are very...
Everybody click the like button, and if you're not broke, click the join button on youtube.com/fanatixfour, you know?
Likes are supported. Comments are supported. That's all support. That's all. Sharing the podcast is support. Telling your friends about the podcast is support. Listening to the podcast multiple times is support.
Yes.
On different devices. Putting it on in the background on repeat is support.
Yeah, and then when you put it on in the background for support, and you put it on 0.25 speed on YouTube. Give us that watch time, my guy.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so it's all support. Don't think because you can't spend money on things. You think I give these losers any of my money? I support
You just give us your time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I support them through time and reading things when AJ can't be bothered.
Yes.
Do you think Pokemon games will make Luigi's Mansion sales worse because they come out quite close to each other?
No. I think Luigi's Mansion has its own little niche, you know? Like, it's not going to, like, sell anywhere. Like, it's... Pokemon, you know, is going to do what it's going to do. Luigi's Mansion is going to do what it's going to do. Pokemon's going to do millions upon millions more units regardless.
Yeah. There are people buying Switches specifically to play Pokemon. There probably are still people...
I'm going to say there's like 4,000 people that are going to buy a Switch just to play Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah. But that's still, that's still a good number. I still think it's a popular series that I've actually never played Luigi's Mansion, so I'm excited for it.
How dare you.
But I also think it's one of those games
I played both of them, both 1 and 2. Product provided by Nintendo.
I think that Luigi's Mansion is a game that you could finish in 2 weeks. If you take out all of the rubbish-looking multiplayer modes, you could finish it in 2 weeks and then.
How dare you? It's going to be the best part about the game, just like Daemon X Machina, you know.
Yeah, they're going to add multiplayer modes in, and people.
They're going to add more multiplayer modes.
I think Luigi's Mansion is going to be a very good game, and I think it's going to have the success it deserves. I think the 2 week gap between that and Pokemon, I can see there being some people that might be like, I can't afford 2 games, but then Christmas is, the month after. So
it's also like a different month. Which is like, if you're on YouTube like me, that's when you get paid at the beginning of the month. Yeah. If you're partnered directly,
so you could pick up Pokemon if you made that decision, and then just get Luigi's Mansion the month after. So, and the fact we don't get the sales results until the end of January for the end of December, we're probably not going to notice that there's a difference. There might be, but we're not going to notice because the Christmas. I think it'll even out with Christmas, and then there's nothing coming in December, so. Directly from Nintendo, I mean. So, swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
Griffnix. Is that right?
Sure, yes.
Yeah. I seem to keep missing the call for questions. Here's another go. Which classic game would you like to get to see get put on the Switch? Either as a remaster, remake, or a straight-up port. He or she says, I would go with Super Mario 64. It's still a great game, but hasn't aged too well, and the camera could use some work. With the abundance of retro collections being released, any collections you'd like to see? I would like to see a Final Fantasy collection with the first 6 2D games, or maybe Breath of Fire. 2 questions there. Let's start with the first one. What classic game would you like to get to see put on the Switch? It's such a broad question because there's so many games.
Yeah. Probably something from GameCube.
I think my pick is from that generation. It's not an obvious. It's not a Nintendo game though.
Give me like Beautiful Joe.
Oh, that's a great idea. I wasn't going to go for it, but that's a really good one. I was going to say something more like San Andreas, GTA San Andreas, just to have a GTA on there that I personally enjoyed.
Put online multiplayer on it.
Yeah. Because there was co-op, wasn't there? Yeah. Vehicle Joe's a great shout. I think anything from that kind of era of like Capcom games on the GameCube or Metal Gear Solid on the GameCube or things like that. Yeah, I'm going to go with San Andreas though. Collection though, I think retro collection. I'm very intentionally avoiding saying Metroid because it's really.
Give me Banjo-Kazooie.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
I've never played that before, so.
How dare you? They're your next door neighbors. You gotta play their game.
I didn't pick up. I was Game Boy.
They live literally down the street from you. You could throw a rock and hit them.
Yeah, well, that doesn't mean I had an N64 growing up. They weren't handing them out.
You could have borrowed one of theirs.
Yeah, true. I could go around the house and just play it. Retro collection, I would probably. I want to say it's not retro, is it though? I was going to say the Return to Arkham, but that's not retro at all.
Yeah, no, that's not retro.
I guess if it has to be a retro collection, then that would be like not a Metroid Prime collection, but like Metroid Zero Mission, Fusion, Super Metroid, Metroid 2.
Does that not already exist in some form?
That has never been.
Well, then, yeah, true. Metroid is like the redheaded stepchild. Well, actually, no. F-Zero is the redheaded stepchild.
Yeah. No, F-Zero is the one they keep chained up in the basement. They feed scraps to.
Yeah.
Its name's
but
like
at least they feed
something like that.
They feed them, though, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'd probably go for something like Metroid, which I wasn't gonna do, but because it says retro specifically, I'm like, I don't care that much about.
You better be safe, because eventually it'll get to the point where they do to you what they do to me, where they're like, hey, here's this question, and you can't talk about Pokemon.
Okay. They're better. So, nobody
be safe.
I exist because I don't
act like you hate Metroid from now on, and you'll be able to pull it out every now and then.
Fine, I won't talk about it too much. Which actually I think I've done quite well not bringing it up. Oh no, we talked about it quite a lot at the start actually. Oh well. Questions from Discord. Grimhane, here he is, second time up. Why does Parker keep dying? Is he trying to have more reboots than Peter Parker? Peter Parker, that's good if that's intentional. Are Sony and Marvel in a bidding war over him? Yes.
Probably.
They want Parker because actually they're losing the rights to the name Peter, so they just desperately need a Parker.
They just need somebody named just Parker.
And the only Parker I've ever heard of in my entire life is Mr. Parker Deal.
True. Never met a Parker before that one.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Parker keeps dying because he ate too many waffles. And
no, he got attacked by a waffle.
He got attacked by a waffle, sorry. Well, because he ate their children, so the waffle just retaliated.
Exactly.
And fought back. So, yeah, he died. They've shipped, like I said earlier, they've shipped his body back. Science is, it's amazing that they've been able to bring him back to life, and I'm sure he'll be back next week with videos. In fact, actually, they're going to rebirth him as a robot that purely exists to make content.
True.
So
but that means that like he'll still like occasionally be out of commission, you know.
Yeah,
charge
you have
the battery.
Sometimes you have to put some WD-40 on the hinges. You have to clean the dust out the back of the CPU, you know. But he is a brain in a jar now. So
exactly.
They're working really hard to reclaim the voice. Jim Henson is on retainer around the clock, despite being dead, to make sure
somebody's got to do it.
So next part of the question: have we actually gotten any substantial Pokemon news since E3?
No.
A few Pokemon here and there, but that seems to be all I can recall. I know you did a video on this general topic, but what big news have we had between summer and now, not counting individual Pokemon? Probably the
wild area is probably the wild area is the only thing, or that was at E3. Yeah, that was like around that time. But
so after E3, we
from
had
all of that
Porydex. Gigantamaxing, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah,
Dynamaxing was before. Gigantamaxing was after.
Pokemon Camp was another
Pokemon
thing.
Camp and the Porydex. That whole the direct.
They elaborated on character customization.
Yes.
But it's just a lot of stuff that we kind of already knew already.
I mean, technically that is dribs and drabs, but I think that's enough of a substantial amount to say that yes, we got some news. But I think it really does feed into the fact that they're keeping things close to their chest, and I think that's why that is substantial news, because they're not talking about an awful lot. So
we'll see.
Yeah. This next comment. Oh, I've got to read real words now. Will Google's negative latency be good enough to make Google anticipate that the current announced implementation of Stadia is going to be destroyed by Xbox and PlayStation services. Heck, even Nintendo Switch Online haters have to like NSO more than they do the design of Stadia. This is about
I
negative
think
latency, isn't it? Yeah.
I think PlayStation's is probably going to be trash in comparison.
I
as
think
far
xCloud
as like
is
performance and stuff like that.
Provably good.
Yeah, I think xCloud will be significantly better. I think PlayStation now will continue to be trash.
The reason xCloud's going to do so well, I think, is because of the infrastructure. So businesses, even outside of Microsoft being Xbox and Microsoft being Microsoft, there are businesses that use, there are like 3 major cloud providers in the entire world.
Yeah, it's like
Google,
Amazon, Microsoft, and
Microsoft.
Google.
They're the top 3. And Microsoft and Google being 2 of them, these are these 2 fingers, by the way, are why the competition between them is going to be so fierce. But it also, there was that news earlier this year that Sony are partnering with Microsoft, not through Xbox, but because of their cloud services, to make their own streaming service.
Yeah.
So I don't personally think that Microsoft being... what am I trying to say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. xCloud's really good. It's going to be really good because they have the infrastructure. Google's really good because they have the infrastructure. But Google also seems to be floundering on other things, whereas Xbox have a lot of experience with games. Sony is going to lag behind, but probably do just as good as xCloud eventually, maybe. But I really think Stadia is going to be the outlier here because they don't have any physical hardware to fall back on.
Yeah. Agreed.
This is a thinking question, which I don't like right now. Which is one game that you have played, but you think the other hasn't played, but should play? I'm paraphrasing that because it makes more sense that way. So that's question 1, but there's also a bonus challenge if you play the game given by the other person. A triple bonus challenge. We missed double, that's not fair. If you either stream it or make a video about it, that'll be a fun idea. If I was to give you a really awful game to play and make you do a video about it. Obviously both challenges are reliant on the game being playable still and being somewhat relevant for the sake of content. We'll skip to this question after. I'm going to leave that there. So what game have you played that you think the other hasn't but should play? You go first.
Lion King on SNES.
Yeah, I've never played that game. It's true.
Play it.
Aladdin, but I never played Lion King.
I played both of those. So yeah, play that because apparently it's really hard. I don't remember it being hard because when I played it, I destroyed that game. And every time somebody's like, "Oh, this game's impossible. It's the original Dark Souls and stuff." I'm like, what? I was a small child.
Yeah,
I beat this game.
I think maybe it's because you had more patience as a kid,
probably.
Or your brain's like a sponge, so you just like, oh, I know how to beat that. I've died once. I know exactly what to do. Whereas now you're like,
now I have all this retained Pokemon knowledge.
Yeah.
That I need to clear out RAM.
A game that I think. Have you played Nier Automata?
No.
I think you should play Nier Automata. It's not a Nintendo game, so it wouldn't be good for content. But
true. See, look, I teed it up for you. I'd give you a game that's going to be new and relevant and coming out, and you gave me a game I can't even play on a system that's plugged in.
Okay,
that's
fine.
My Xbox is plugged in.
Let's fall back then. Let's fall back to an obvious. Let's say in theory they release the Metroid Prime trilogy that they have already said, or that some people, including Leah Robertson, have said definitely exists. Have you played those games before?
I played the first one. I played some of the second one. And none of the third one.
Well, then, that's not good content.
Plus, I was going to do that anyway, so that's not good content all around.
Okay, I'm probably happy with my Nier Automata.
Okay, fine, we'll stick with Nier Automata, and when it comes to Switch eventually, then I'll do it.
Cool, fine. Yeah, they have spoken about it before, didn't they? I think that was like when the game came out.
Platinum just puts everything on Switch at this point.
They like Nintendo. Nintendo like them, but it's a Square Enix game is the difficult thing.
True. Square Enix likes Nintendo too, though. True.
But they didn't try with the PC version, so whether they try with the Switch version is another thing entirely. The final question from Grim Hain for this section, at least, because I know what he's like: pumpkin pie or rhubarb pie?
I never had rhubarb pie, so pumpkin pie by default. But I don't really like pumpkin pie.
I've never had pumpkin pie, so rhubarb pie by default.
Oh my god.
Probably don't do pumpkins in the UK. We get so I don't fully understand what a pumpkin spice latte is.
It's like not even. Spice. It's not even like a pumpkin thing. Like it's the spices.
Yeah. So but I don't know what blends. In my head, pumpkin pie sounds savoury, but I'm assuming it's sweet because it's a dessert and you have it.
It's like sweet. It's sweet, but it's not.
Is it
great.
Cool Whip or Miracle Whip? What do you have on top of?
Miracle Whip, what the heck? Miracle Whip is like that's like akin to like it's like sweet mayonnaise.
Yeah, that sounds awful. Oh, is it like cheap, like processed, awful. Like cheese whiz kind of thing? Yeah. I would say I would like to try pumpkin pie, but because I don't know, rhubarb pie can be quite tart though, and quite.
Sounds gross.
Have you had rhubarbs before? You ever eaten a rhubarb? You have to crumble before?
No, nope.
Oh, okay, rhubarb's quite a nice, quite a sour. Fruit that if you cook it down with sugar and stuff, it gets really nice and sweet. It goes well in a crumble with apple, or in a pie with apple, or in a pie on its own, or in a crumble on its own. Very nice. It looks like a celery, but it's red.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, I've never eaten pumpkin, never eaten rhubarb. There we go. That's what we should do for content. Games. We'll recommend
# fanatics foods. Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, Falcon didn't do one of those. Rip, dude.
Didn't do what?
He didn't send to Fanatics Foods.
Oh, what?
Rip off, man. Falcon's canceled.
Is it not time this week? I'm so shocked.
It is time this week.
It's time, boys.
It wasn't. You know what? It wasn't time because on the second video, Grimhain beat Falcon.
No way.
He did?
Oh, because he said first, didn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
Good old Grimhain. Thanks for the comments, Grimhain. I'm assuming this is your last one. Okay, so let's do the Twitter questions.
Yeah.
First one is from some guy called Parker. Here's my question. This is for Max. Ooh. 3D DK or 2D Mario? Don't lead me into these traps. Don't put a little piece of rope on me and start dragging me into these traps, because I've never played a 3D DK game. I'm pretty sure there's only been one. I don't like 2D Mario. So, where do I sit on this?
You don't.
Technically, Donkey Kong
Country Freeze. Shut up.
Okay, I'll have to choose 2D Mario just because.
Because it's good. Yep.
Oh, that's the best one so far, man. Because I've played it, because I know what it's like.
Because it's good. It's a tried and true formula that people, the world across love and adore.
And this one's for AJ. 2D Crash or 1D Spyro?
1D for one death. Spyro, are you insane?
1D Spyro would just be a purple dot.
Exactly.
Jumping along a purple, one green line.
Sounds better than Crash to me.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like Crash, but yeah, 2D Crash or 1D Spyro. Yeah, I agree with that. 1D Spyro, because it seems like one of those weird like indie games that would come out like a jam or something. Where 2D Crash is just Crash, which we already know is trash.
It's trash.
So why would you ever choose that?
Pure garbage.
Bianca Wick asks, what is your favourite Doritos flavour? Other core chips are available.
The sweet chili kind that Parker said.
We don't have those.
They're good. You should import them.
We have. What flavours do we have? We have the standard like.
The basic B ones like Grookey. You got the Grookey equivalent chips.
Oh, go away. You have nacho cheese flavour, tangy cheese. I think they're actually called.
That's dumb. I hate that.
Or Cool Original, because we don't have ranch over here. So Cool Original.
That's also stupid.
Not flaming hot. It's like chili hot chili. I had some earlier actually.
Chili hot chili.
It's something like that. Hot chili, flaming hot spicy something. And then you have like the original in the big bags.
What does that mean?
No, it's just salted. Sorry, it's just salted.
Ew.
And you have hint of lime.
I think we have something like that.
And that I think is the 5. There might be like a black. Oh, there's the weird ones they do, where it's like 1 in 5 of these is actually super duper hot, or you have the one that's got the roulette, or you have the ones that's like half of them are guacamole and half of them are ghost pepper, or you have the ones that are like, some of these in this bag are actually I don't know, barbecue rib flavour, and some of them are chicken pot pie. I don't know, like just a bunch of combinations. My favourite Doritos flavour out of the regularly
chili
available ones I've had before are cheese.
Nacho cheese?
No, tangy cheese.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You're dumb.
Because I've never had the sweet chili ones. But actually, I think we need to do a snack swap. We need to do a fanatixfour Max Right snack swap.
Yeah, because the sweet chili chips are the good kind. I'm
gonna introduce you to Toffee Crisp, and you're gonna be blown. I'm gonna send you a Kinder Egg, and then you're gonna have contraband, and I'm gonna call the police. And be like, I hear this guy's got Kinder Eggs. Get him, boys.
Get him. Oh my,
ladies and gentlemen, we got him. I've never thought about a favourite Doritos flavour because they're all kind of like the same. Then I want to think about it. Called Original is like, what is that? We don't have ranch, so I'm like, what does that even mean? Called Original.
I don't know.
Salt should be original. Like, yeah.
I mean, that's what it sounded like. You said it was just salted. That's why I said ew. The original way. Also, it being called original is strange.
No, sorry, there's two different things. So the called original is the ranch, and then when I said original, I meant salted because I forgot called original existed for a second. So there's called original,
weird,
which are in the blue bag, which I think are like ranch, and then you have salted, which are in the beige bag, which just goes to show how boring they are because they're beige.
Yes.
But they're good for dipping, really good for dipping. But so are the hint of lime ones. So yeah. Interesting question. Benjamin Aquino comes in again. My question is about Mario. As we know, this chubby moustache plumber had a large variety of adventures, but there could always be more. Where do you think Nintendo could take Mario next that would be different from what exists currently?
See, he already went to space, so by logic, that means he's supposed to get cancelled because he's already been in space. He's been to traveled, yes.
He's been with the Rabbids, and they've done a really good strategy game.
You know, Mario hasn't climbed. Mario climbed. Mario's ran. He just jumped, but he hasn't climbed.
He hasn't climbed. If you like the picky pick things from Odyssey, you kind of climbed. But Mario, I mean, he probably did a climbing wall in one of the Mario vs Sonic games. Mario has never been underwater for very long.
True, but that would be trash, though.
Yeah, because you don't have to swim.
Like, why would you want a whole game of the water levels?
Yeah.
Though? Like, people would hate that.
Mario has never been to another dimension.
Mario has never been in a Sonic platformer, so do that, and that'll also be bad.
Another crossover. Well,
it would be the worst Mario game, but the best Sonic game.
Before Odyssey was announced, or even teased, I had it in my head that they were going to do Mario 3D World, and then Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, Mario 3D World on the Wii U,
Mario 3D Galaxy. I do it.
AJ, I don't know if you can see this high five that's happening, but it's
high five.
There we go. I was always thinking that, but it never happened. So peak for us. Yeah, there we go. I'd probably say another dimension.
Yeah, man.
Another dimension. What song is that?
I don't know. Probably some UK stuff that I'd never heard of in my life,
I'm pretty sure it's... No, I can't.
It's probably some AM radio stuff,
I'm gonna... Another dimension song.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, it looks like it's giving me the Prodigy.
It's just a song that you made up? You made up the song?
No, it looks like it might be the Prodigy. I don't know, anyway.
Grimhane, tell us the song.
Yeah, Grimhane, what is that song? Jack Harrison. Oh, Jack, that's Digibot, that's Jack.
Yeah, he's the one that stood us up on Smash Bros. He stood us up.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh AJ, we can't play a game. We have to wait for Jack. Then I was like, okay, we can play like 2 more games because Jack's just rip.
Rip.
Jack Harrison asks a very on-brand question, I guess.
Yes.
Can Metroid Prime 4 live up to expectations? When will it release? 2020, 2021?
No. I think it's coming out no sooner than 2022.
I think 2021 at the earliest.
And I think that, I don't know, like, expectations are all over the place. Some people have absolutely none. I think it'll live up to my expectations.
Yeah, can it ever live up to mine is another thing entirely. But I'm also not expecting anything higher than, like, Metroid Prime 3. Whereas if Retro are like, oh, you know, we've just made Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, so we're like at the peak of our game. But
here's the thing. They can't do that. They need to do the Breath of the Wild of Metroid, or everybody's gonna hate it.
No, they just need to do more Metroid Prime. They just need to do it with
no, Max.
Bigger.
This is what you don't understand. That's what they need to do for the Metroid fans, all 12 of them. But if they want to win over more people, they got to do the Breath of the Wild of Metroid.
Do you reckon there are more Metroid fans or more Pokemon trainer mains?
Did you say there's? Well, there's probably more Pokemon trainer mains.
Oh, sad.
Probably.
Sad.
Probably.
2021, possibly. Knowing how Retro Studios works, when it was announced that they had the game, they had probably had like a couple of months on it to actually get a base that's worth announcing before they just cancel it outright. And as Dr. 81, I think it is, yeah, he's a YouTuber, grown on Twitter as well. He made a good point that the fact that they're still advertising for roles doesn't necessarily mean the game hasn't started yet.
Yeah,
they're still advertising for non-multiplayer Last of Us 2 roles. There are always things that need to be done.
They're still hiring for Breath of the Wild 2, and we saw that game.
Yeah, exactly. So, it could knowing how Retro takes maybe 2 years on average to make a Metroid game, we could see it by 2021 easily. I think 2022 is more likely. I
think we're getting in 2022.
But I'm gonna be holding.
I would be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked if we saw it in 2021. And if we see it in 2020, I'm dying from just pure disbelief.
I'd be shocked in a good way. I'd be very happy. Chris the Butte. If you could go into a video game and play alongside the main character, which video game would you choose besides Pokemon and Smash Bros, AJ?
See, how
you have
dare
to
you?
Pick something. You have to think of a third game, AJ. Good luck. Good luck thinking of a third video game.
A third video game. Out of all the video games that we spoke about today.
Yeah, you have to try and think of a third video game.
How will I ever, you know?
And also one that you would want to play alongside the main character of.
I feel like even like removed from like me, and this isn't my answer, but I'm just saying, like even removed from me, I think an easy answer is Pokemon. Because a lot of them are a thing of like.
Not read the question?
No, I just said that's not my answer. I'm just saying that I think Pokemon is an easy answer for everybody because it's like one of the few that's like this is a cool world, and also like I don't have to be like this chosen few to actually participate in it. You know.
You also just can't get hurt.
Yeah.
You cannot get hurt.
Exactly.
No one ever the kid never gets hurt.
Right. So with that being said, I'm gonna pick. Splatoon. I'm picking Splatoon. Because I was a kid at one point. Maybe I would turn into a squid. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
It rapidly evolve.
Right.
Get covered in ink.
Because it seems fun. It seems fun to play that. To play Turf War, you know?
Yeah. No one gets hurt. Everyone just has fun. And they wear cool clothes. And they get all streetweared up. And there's music playing. And it's just what a great culture. Exactly. I am torn between two very different games. So... Number one is
Metroid Prime and Metroid Fusion.
No. Batman Arkham Asylum. I would like to be a Robin in that game because of all the cool gadgets and all the cool like taking people out, and it'd be really cool to be like really tactical about taking people out because the enemies just walk in a square, and there's always like really greatly placed gargoyles around that I can just drop from. How cool! It's like being like
and they do like the kung fu movie thing of like let's all attack him one at a time.
Yep, and then I can just hit X, bang, gone. Hey, you're gone. Arm broken. Fine. My second choice, because I haven't decided between the two, which is rapidly different, is Stardew Valley. I think it'd be really cool to be on the farm. You could
just do that now. Just like start a farm, dude.
It's not that easy. I have to inherit a large patch of land from my granddad. I'd have to have people that want to come to my house every day, take my stuff away.
I mean, people didn't want to do that. They don't want to do that right off the bat. You know, you got to talk to people, man.
Yeah, but they just leave the money. They just leave the money in your house every morning. And you just have to give like a girl batteries for like a few weeks.
I think you could do that now.
Do you know how many times I've given Ella batteries? And what the hell have you given me these for? And I'm like, I'm just trying to raise our friendship level. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about?
No, see, but the problem is you haven't looked at the wiki. You don't know what her favorite item is.
True, but she hates batteries. I'm just giving her batteries all the time.
Yeah, you gotta. You're like not even playing the meta, dude. Like her favorite thing is like like freaking chocolate cake or something.
Oh, she's fallen asleep over there, so I can't even ask her what her favorite thing is. That was gonna be my plan. Oh well.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be it. So I think that'd be really cool. And I can't just start a farm. Don't make me do things. I want it all handed to me on a platter, like the guy from Stardew Valley did.
Yeah, but it's not even... You gotta freaking chop down all those weeds and stuff. You gotta make space. There's rocks all over the place, man.
Give me the infrastructure and I'd work. But I don't want to start from the bottom. I want the house that my granddad leaves me that's fully furnished. And then I want to pay someone enough money when I earn enough money to just turn it into a second, like a bigger house.
Fine.
Mm-hmm. Good question. So last question... Oh, that's our last question already. Is Casual Verse Matt, who's been on the podcast, says, leaving me out of all the RIPs, shaking my head. I assume that means you didn't ask him onto this podcast.
No, that's not true. Oh. Well, actually, that is true. But it's not true that I don't think that's why he's saying it. Because I don't say RIP every time he's not there. But you know how many people I would have to say RIP to every time they're not here? I say RIP to Parker because he's literally a co-host. He's literally a solidified part of the show. He's not just 50%. A guest. There's a tier list to who I say is RIP. Mm-hmm. It goes Parker because obviously, and then it goes you and Dan because I still don't know who has been on more at this point. And then it goes Bob because Bob, he realistically he should have been on the podcast more than he has been, but I just don't ask him for things. So it hasn't happened that much. Usually it happens when Bob's like, why haven't I been on the podcast? And I'm like, well, all right, come on then.
You're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Let's have Bob on.
It's just like the complete opposite of what a lot of their viewers feel like I do, like where it's like, I'm just going to like milk him for all he's worth, I'm just like, I guess I'll have you on the podcast. Fine. No, I like having Bob on the podcast, but I don't expect him to be on it,
Yeah.
And then everybody else. I'm not going to list off I think MDB will get there eventually where he's on the same tier as like you and Dan, but he's only been on once, so I can't specify RIP at this point.
Yeah, this is like my fourth time on.
Yeah.
Did you know who'll know?
Something like that.
Do you know who'll know how many times I've been on?
Grimhane.
Yeah,
Grimhane
exactly.
will probably know. If not Grimhane, then
he knew exactly how many times Dan had been on. He knew when Bob was on.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be able to tell us how many times I've been on.
Right. So,
do you know how we'll do that? By just going onto the Direct to You website and seeing where my name comes up. But I'm not going to do that. That's for Grimhane to do.
Yes. Right. Exactly.
That's all the questions. We made it through.
Right. The Sick Boys podcast. We're done.
Not
we
the cute
finished
boys. We're the Sick Boys. We're just the horrible, the opposite of the cute boys.
Yeah.
And we did it in under 2.5 hours. That's less than 3 hours. That's much better.
That's insane, man. That's crazy.
And we talked about so much stuff.
Yeah, but we went
on so many tangents.
But that's normal. We always go on tangents.
That's what I'm saying. But we've managed to condense that into 2.5 hours.
Anyway, we haven't even plugged LootPots a single time.
So
everybody should go check out LootPots at lootpots.com. People should follow LootPots at twitter.com/LootPots. People should unfollow Pete because he still hasn't had me on the podcast. Still. Me or Parker. It's acceptable. You can have Parker on instead of me. That's cool. But the fact that you have had neither of us on the podcast, deplorable.
Do you know who he has had on recently?
Luis.
He had Luis on, and he's had him on before he's had you on, and I'm going to bring this up with him.
I know. That's wild, man. That's wild.
I can't believe it. Yeah, we'll have you on. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not in charge of that. Pete's in charge of that. He's refusing to have me on in future because of my incredible takes on things like Crash Bandicoot and 2D Mario and things like that. But yeah, check out LootPots. We're doing some good stuff. We're actually at EGX, that's Eurogamer Expo, in London. This coming Thursday we start. It's me, Steve, and Pixel Park. Spending the whole weekend there covering games, hanging out with people. I know this is more of a US-based show, but people from the UK that might know LootPots will be able to see us there. You can check out my video on YouTube about Ni no Kuni. We're going to be doing another video hopefully soon about Digimon, which should be fun. I just need to. I've been trying to get hold of Bandai about that one. So. Yeah, check out LootPot. Check me out on Twitter as well, Max Elwright. I tweet like constantly, like it's a problem.
He's going to get the 600 followers. Get him the 600 followers, everybody.
That'd be nice. That'd be fun. Yeah. That's that. Thank you for reminding me of the plugs because like I just forgot. You wouldn't. I'm just here now. Yeah. Like Parker said a couple of weeks ago. I think it was like 4 weeks ago, when Parker was like, "Is he even Max from LootPots anymore?" Or you just my friend? And I was like, "Yeah, I feel that quite a lot."
True. But the sad truth is that the podcast is over. See you on Tuesday with my video about, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Goodbye. How dare you.